The try.
Yeah. What's up, fool?
You know what would be cool for the 100th episode?
What?
Probably some intro music.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I think the only thing that make me feel better is if the WIwrestle podcast had a little intro music.
I think some intro music. I think some intro music.
Good morning and welcome, all you hungry and handsome individuals. I have been up since 4 a.m. for 4 hours, far too long if you ask me. But I'm here at the Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin for the individual state tournament this weekend. And I am not alone. I am joined by the one, the only, formerly homeless Teague Fenwick, host of Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast. Teague, how you doing, man?
You know, it was also an early morning for me, Nate, but it is state day. I felt no sense of tiredness this morning, just purely jacked. And throwing out a fun fact right away off the bat, there's going to be a total of 1,234 matches wrestled here on the mats right behind us this weekend.
That is a lot of matches. You, my friend, are built different. Teague's not alone. Sitting right next to him is my friend, Patrick Spray. Pat, you are the host of the Washed Up podcast, a former collegiate athlete. Now you're washed up. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm living that washed up life, dude. It's great.
How are the bones feeling? The body, you know?
Achy. I heard they were creaking a little bit when I got up this morning, but you know what? Like Teague said, state weekend, I'm ready to go.
Hashtag built different.
Hashtag washed up.
And finally, on the end over here, we have Mateah Rail, host of the... I'm having a moment.
Queen
of the Mat. Oh, man.
Wow.
That is tough.
Queen of the Mat podcast. Mateah, you are a two-time college All-American, a senior level All-American as well. You're a very successful wrestler.
Yeah.
You have humbled us with your presence.
Oh,
How are you doing
thank
this
you.
morning?
I'm doing great. I'm a little bit sad you didn't bring up my U State titles, my 5 U State titles.
Ooh, yeah, right in the corner there.
Yep.
You got a
brought me
trophy?
Trophy. 2016, I think. Yeah.
2016, you won a U State title?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, seriously?
I know
I graduated
exactly
high school 2016. What?
Yeah.
How old are you, 22?
Mm-hmm.
22, okay.
I think it was 2016. Yeah.
I hope.
Man, I really am washed up.
2016 right
Dang.
there.
Yeah.
Washed up.
I really am washed up.
Hashtag washed up. Thank you, Mateah. You are also famous on social media, as we all know. We've talked about this many times. She has over 20,000 followers on Instagram. So
Whatever.
if you're one of them, shout out you. If you're not, shame on you. But
Agreed.
agreed. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the WI State Tournament. It is finally time, and we are going to get into it right away. First topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Is this the best state tournament of all time? Teague, I'm starting with you. I think this is going to be the best state tournament of all time. It's hard to argue with it. We have some crazy brackets. 157 pounds. We have 3 undefeated wrestlers. 175 pounds. We got Denny, Leonard, Liam Crook. There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack this weekend. There's less, in my opinion, there are less wrestlers who are locks to win this state tournament than there have been in years past, which makes it more chaotic and more epic. What do you think?
I think the more chaos at the state tournament, the better. And if you want to, it depends on how you want to look at it in terms of how good the state tournament is, because it's always going to be really hard to compare with the star power of last year or like the early 2000s classes. But we do have some really deep fields. I know there's quite a few brackets when Steve and I did our show last night where it's not just 2 good choices, but you have a handful of people that can win any given bracket. So in terms of that pure entertainment value, this could end up being the best state tournament.
Well, we want anarchy. No, just like Talladega Nights. Anarchy.
Exactly.
So I like the chaos. I thrive for the chaos. I don't know, Pat, what do you think?
I kind of had the same thinking as Teague in the sense of like how you're looking at it. To me, I can't say this is the best state tournament because I don't think it's the best field.
Whoa, what do you mean this ain't the best state tournament?
Kids are great, you know. I think the kids are doing really well this year. Obviously, there's a lot of undefeated wrestlers, like you said, a lot of good kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's less locks because there's maybe not that highest echelon of talent like there has been in the past. So by that criteria, I don't know if I can say this is the best state tournament ever. I like chaos too. I'm all for the chaos.
You are for chaos, but you don't think it's the best state tournament ever.
I would have to distree with that, yes.
All right, so Hater Pat over here. Mateah, I'm going to get to you before we go back to this as a whole. What do you think about this state tournament so far?
I guess looking at the girls' side, I would say it's definitely the best state tournament because it's the third girls' state tournament. And last year, we only had the top one from each sectional able to make it to state.
Yep.
And so a lot of the top-ranked girls didn't make it. So I felt like it wasn't as competitive last year. So I think this is the best year for girls.
You think overall, too, there's just because of the 2 qualifiers now that it's going to just be more competitive matches, I guess you would say, where it's like maybe not as many techs or pins or things like that?
Yeah, and I would say like more of the top 10 girls made it through to state compared to last year.
And wildly deep field.
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't there, I mean, Pat,
Yep.
maybe you just didn't take a look. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of nationally ranked girls in the state tournament this year, right?
Yeah,
We have 12, yeah.
12
for sure.
nationally
There's a
ranked
lot of
Very impressive.
impressive girls here at the wrestling that are wrestling this weekend, and I'm excited to watch that for
Yeah,
sure.
me too. What bracket, Mateah, if I put you on the spot right here, what bracket do you think is the one you are most excited for, real quick?
I would say either 120 or 132. I'm really excited to see, hopefully, Lily Banks versus Haley Fletcher. I don't think we've seen them wrestle yet. Am I right, Teague?
Well, also, I don't know if Banks and Fletcher have wrestled off the top of my head. I do know Banks has split matches with Chesney Bartosiak of Wrightstown, and that could be a potential quarterfinals match that we see at 132. I think it just goes to show how deep the field is. Real quick, we got the comments rolling in, everybody. Of course, we got some loyal listeners, Doug and Dylan, tuned in. Dylan loved the formerly homeless remark, by the way. Dee's on her way to watch the girls. Her daughter is wrestling in the tournament. Dylan's also put in a word for Cal Gerber of Osceola for Coach of the Year.
Wow.
Gerber? Gerber? Is that how you
Yep.
spell
Yeah.
it? Is it pronounced Gerber or
Gerber.
Gerber?
I'm pretty sure it's Gerber.
Gerber. You're asking the wrong guy for pronunciation.
Yeah, that was a wild Uno reverse there.
Yeah.
You corrected me on the pronunciation.
Yeah, if you can't even pronounce your own last name right, I don't think you should.
Whoa! I can definitely I can pronounce my last name right.
Haley
Nobody
and Banks
else.
did not wrestle, by the way.
Okay.
Yep.
So we are excited to see.
Could be a new match if it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. That bracket I have taken a look at a few times, and that one is stacked. It goes like, I think the top 4 of the top 5, I believe, are in the same top half of that bracket, including the top 3, I think. So it's a pretty stacked bracket, as you said. But, Pat, I wanted to ask you, how many 4-time state champs do you think we're going to see this weekend?
That's a good question. I would imagine that.
Are we going 3 for 3?
That's what I'm wondering. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that's a good question. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would say, okay. Give me the rundown of who they are again, because
We got Koji, Koji Campbell, Danny Heiser.
Yep.
And I would say the hardest path is probably Haley Krieger at 152.
Okay.
Who she has a former state champion in her bracket. She's beaten her 3 times this year, but you can never count out Madeline Sikolski.
Yeah.
I'll definitely go 3 for 3 on this. Then.
What's the scores on those?
The scores?
Pause. Time out. We have not spoken about this man yet. He is just hiding behind the camera. Everyone's probably wondering, where is JR? Where is Jacob Broshka? Where's that sweaty guy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is the main-time big producer of this show. Nothing happens without him. When we first started WIwrestle, we weren't sure how to hit go live on a stream, and we had our friend Caden Henshaw helping us out. Now, if you saw the production, check out our story for the behind-the-scenes production. Jacob Broshka is a tech wizard. Jake, what stress level are you at, and are you still sweating right now?
I'm not sweating. As you can see, I got the crappy webcam on me. I'm doing good, though. Now
Good.
that the stream is live, we're chatting about wrestling. Life is good.
I like it.
Time.
I like it. And ladies and gentlemen, Jake, let it be known that Mr. Jacob Broshka behind the camera refused, when we said we had to decorate the room for today, he refused to bring either of his state title brackets, and he refused to bring his Fargo stop sign where he won a national title. So, Jake.
Humble king.
Well,
humble or lazy? You decide.
State titles are screwed into my parents' basement walls. and I probably should know where the stop sign is, but that's somewhere in a room buried away. So.
Nate,
Man, if I won a Fargo title, I don't know if I'd lose track of where my stop sign was, but
It's somewhere.
I'd probably leave it at home on the trophy shelf with my parents too.
yeah, I don't know. That one's small. It's easy to bring.
My
Makes
parents'
for a good
rec
coaster.
room, state brackets look great right next to the bar.
You do have a nice, for all those waters.
Oh, yeah.
You do have a nice rec room. I have to admit, I wouldn't want to futz with it, but
Nate, I do want to say we talked about 152 with 2 returning champions. Girls 120 also with 2 returning champions in the bracket, MJ Newman and Angie Bianchi. And I've looked at all the brackets. I've gone through 5 to 10 times on each one, so if I did miss, but I do believe those are the only 2 brackets I've seen with multiple returning state champs. There's a lot with returning runner-ups, a huge amount of returning runner-ups in a few brackets, but I'll tell you what, all of you, all this talking wrestling has made me really hungry, and I don't know about you, but I could go for a good spring roll at this this time of day.
ooh, absolutely.
Any ideas, Nate?
I don't know, maybe funky fresh spring rolls. Have you ever had those before? I haven't eaten this morning, and I tell you what, I've had them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner before. They're pretty good. Have you had them?
I have not yet, and I'm really looking forward to trying them. I do know Mr. Truman is a heck of a salesman, and just the personality makes me want to bite into one.
I mean, we've seen what he does with his funky fresh takedowns of the week, have we not? Are those not one of the highlights of our week?
Pro editor.
But hey,
He gets into it.
this is our guy right here. This is Truman. If you see him this weekend, Jake, I don't know if you can zoom in on Truman, but if you can't, lean forward on your screen. You might be able to see him. That's our guy. This is Funky Fresh Spring Rolls. Maybe you should try out the Chicken Club. Everyone needs chicken, and I don't know if
I
you've
had
ever
Chicken Club last night, actually.
heard. Really?
Oh, I went and bought some rolls.
Oh, so this is an empty box that you ate from.
Very good.
Smells like Chicken Club too.
Throw them in the air fryer. Ooh, baby.
They are good. And you know what? Tastes like chicken. So maybe I should try out the Chicken Club. I have not had these ones yet, but I do love chicken, and I am hungry.
Well, folks, you saw it on the screen there. Stop at your local Sendix, Woodman's, or Outpost.
Yeah.
Go check out some funky fresh spring rolls.
Yeah, and Truman himself is going to be around all weekend. He's going to be at some of those locations here in Madison, and I do believe he's going to be around at the state tournament. So if you see him, say something. Hey, we got to talk about this, though.
Yes.
State seating. Pat, I'm looking at you, and
Oh,
you're already
well,
taking a big gasp.
Me and Teague were talking about this earlier.
Oh,
He's
no.
got a fire in his eyes.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. The WIA, as we know, started seeding the brackets a few years ago, okay? Right? I believe we started with top 4, correct? Mm-hmm. And now we're seeding all 16. I love that we seed the tournament. I think that is a great idea, and I think that is excellent for our state tournament. Pat, I don't know. You're still looking at me. You had that big gasp.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of flaws to the seeds that I saw.
No, don't say.
A ton.
Say it ain't so.
A ton. And
No.
I know seeds don't
No.
matter. I know seeds don't matter, but when you market seeding to try to get guys away from each other and try to make it more like actually like separated how it's supposed to be, then it should be right. And if you're going to seed it and you're going to market it that way, then having a human influence in there, not just your computer, and try to make them as correct as you can. And I just looking through all of these brackets, and I could go through a lot of different examples, but
Well, give me one.
well, okay, one.
We have to know.
I
One.
mean, this is gonna sound so petty,
No, the
but that's
notes,
okay.
all the notes.
Petty Pat.
No.
Hashtag petty
This
Pat.
example that I'm about to bring up is gonna sound so petty,
Okay.
but D1 106. Jackson Freeman from Wisconsin Rapids,
Yeah.
sophomore, beat Anthony Strong of Brown
Deer, yep.
Yes. They've wrestled one time this year.
Okay.
Freeman beat him.
That was that Edsteck, right?
Yes.
What are they seated?
8 and 9.
Oh.
So, petty, granted.
Head to head does seem.
That's what I mean. It's head to head. Why is,
On principle.
on principle, he should be seated ahead of him?
You got
And it has been that way. So, like, I saw a lot of sectional runner-ups being seated, like, 4th. And I can't remember off the top of my head who's who, but I saw a lot of sectional runner-ups being placed ahead of the sectional champions, right? I just don't think that.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that head-to-head's taken into enough account.
Do you have any other examples, or are you just living and dying on one?
I will find one.
And of course, it's a
I-
Rapids kid.
Well, I know.
I have
know.
one. I have another
and
one.
this also involves a
Rapids
Rapids
kid.
kid.
You
Yeah,
might be-
Nate, tell us about 285.
There might be another one that Pat could be. You guys,
I'm telling you,
maybe
there's
this is just
there's
a Pat problem.
too many.
Maybe this is a Rapids Pat problem. Maybe it's a Rapids problem. But at heavyweight,
Yeah.
the 4 seed is Thomas Medley of West Allis, Nathan Hale. The 5 seed is Tanner Gormanson of Wisconsin Rapids. Gormanson beat Medley earlier this year, and then they wrestled at the Ed Steck, and then
Baby.
yes, sir, that was live on WIwrestle. And then at the Highlander, also live on WIwrestle, Gormanson won that bracket, which Medley placed 4th in. But Medley is the 4 seed, Gormanson is the 5. So, Pat, to your point,
Yeah.
maybe it's a Rapids problem, maybe it's a seeding problem. I don't know. Teague, you just had the stream yesterday. That you did with your podcast, and you went through a lot of this. You also did the bracket reveal show. What do you have to say?
Well, the first thing I can think of off bat is we all grew up in the Matrix era, right?
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that this is a lot better than what we have with the Matrix. Pat, you made a lot of good arguments. I think in terms of sectional runner-ups being ahead of a sectional placement, we all agree that not all sectionals are built differently.
Fair.
And that's, I think you can think of an instance in 2015 where there's probably a sectional runner-up that should have probably been in a different spot, I would
Right.
say.
Yep.
And it's, I think we don't need to blow up the whole system necessarily. There's a lot of brackets where there's some minute things that we could switch up. And there's some, I know Peter has the example in here, Nathan Henderson of Holman being an 8 seed. That is tough for Henderson. I think one of the things that we can improve with the bracketing or the criteria system is find a way where freshmen don't get the short end of the straw. Because I know during the season it is what it is. That's kind of like an old-fashioned, like freshmen are just going to have it rough. But
Yep.
we're at state now. We want everyone to
the whole
have
season under
the most fair draw.
Yeah.
And I think finding a way, like maybe you do a top 3 U state result, or you change it where you weight more head to head, or
I don't know if
or
I'm
you
gonna
or
pause.
you or you weigh less on. I'm just tossing out ideas.
let him
Yeah,
finish,
I'm
Nate.
tossing out ideas. Maybe you put less criteria on sectional champs or less criteria on state qualifiers. I think being a state qualifier in the state field from last year, what does that mean? That just means you're the best in your sectional. Why does that have to be compared to everyone else in the state? But guys, going back to the Matrix argument, most of the brackets, I think you could make a little change here or there with a lot of them. Most of the brackets are doing the job of, we do have the best 2 on opposite sides of the bracket. Heavyweight, I know that some obvious errors, but ultimately, I think we still have the best 3 in a spot where there's kind of a quote-unquote wrestle in for the finals, so to speak. They could very well be in different spots, but they are spread out fairly well in most of the brackets. We have, especially now, it's really important that we have just you get to the semis and then you're wrestling top 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Having those top 4 spread out is huge. I think we see that amongst a lot of brackets. Devin brings up Bob Zine beating Auberg.
That's the one I
that
was
one
just
too.
about to bring
So
up.
that's another one. I think on principle it should very well be changed, right? And at
think
least they're
that's-
on the opposite side of the bracket. I will say on a side note, I'm looking forward to 138 no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
because that's
38's
going to
a
be a
big one.
fun one. The one thing against having that human influence is we have to be really careful that we don't open that Pandora's box. I think maybe you could start out, you can only change something if it's a head-to-head situation. So we have D1 138. You could have one person going and say, well, Bob Zine beat Auberg in the one match they wrestled. Let's flip that. Freeman beat Strong in the one match they wrestled. Let's wrestle that. If you get to a situation like D2 106, for example, I think a lot of people would say that Gregory Hellendrung should not be on the same side as Colin Fry. But this problem is Parker Owens, who, not an underclassman, had state experience last year. He's the 2 seed. Hellendrung beat him. Trenton Holzer's the 3 seed. If you start making it where you can jump other people that you haven't wrestled, that's where things start to get a little sticky.
For sure.
And
I think
a little human influence isn't bad, but you do have to be careful.
I think that the human influence would be good. If you think about it, every tournament, for the most part, whether it is a coaches meeting, regionals has a coaches meeting beforehand, okay? State, I understand we're not all here, but you could have a call-in time. They do that in college and stuff like that. You could have a call-in time, coaches, if they feel the need to call in and talk about that bracket. you call in, or every tournament basically, Eau Claire North, Bi-State, et cetera, whether it's a coaches meeting beforehand or the home coaches. You know, who says the state tournament can't just have a small little panel of a few coaches? I do trust the coaches. Like we've been to these tournaments where the coaches they give all the pre-seed qualifications and criteria, and they get kind of an idea, and then they take a look and they're like, okay, this guy's really, really good. We know that he should probably be up a little, or this guy's has maybe a padded record and he should be down a little. I trust the fact that coaches would do that, and they would do it well, and you only need a couple of them to do that because they already do that with their home teams, and they're not over ranking their own guys, sort of thing. So
yeah, I think that'd be tough though, simply because of how many teams are here. What I would suggest,
gotta break it up.
I would suggest a committee. You get a committee for D1, you get a committee for D2, maybe make it like a 10-person committee, and then
that's what I mean.
The seeds are
10's a lot. I was gonna go three coaches from each division. 3 coaches per division. That way you never have a tie, and they can just.
I like the odd number. I think 3 is not enough.
I think you get too many, and then it just starts getting too bureaucratic and too many people trying to make deals. You just got to be able to.
Kitchen.
Yep, too much
that's
cooking.
fair. I think that the computer's doing a lot of good stuff, right? I'm not saying that the ranking system's completely trash. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's not taking
There's
enough.
room for improvement.
For sure.
Oh,
That's what I'm
absolutely.
saying. And that's where I think that like a little committee could kind of fix those obvious errors.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of that, after the first year of seeding, one of the criteria was strength of win against an opponent. Grayson Clark, who I think was a 2-time state champ at the time, got the 2 seed behind Hoyt Blaskowski of Marshfield because Hoyt pinned a guy that Grayson teched. And I think we had a good idea of who was going to win that bracket. They changed that immediately after that year. I think for the last couple of years, they just wanted a larger sample size. I think we're able to change that criteria, and it is compared to 10 years ago, it is in a great spot. And Valerie, I know you brought up a great example. Caleb getting the 5 seed last year. Boziel got the 2, and Caleb beat him 3 times. Things ended up working itself out in that bracket, and that was a tough one, and that it was a very deep 138-pound field. But all the examples that people have, they're valid examples. We're talking about 54 brackets. I would love to see someone specifically after the wrestling plays itself out as well. I'd love to see someone come with a full list.
But so that's part of the problem.
Brackets
is
where
some of these brackets, like I believe it's women's 132 that we were talking about before, Mateah. It's like some of these brackets, there's 3 girls in one quad that are ranked in like the top 4. So one of them will not be on the podium no matter what, because whether they lose on the front or the back, they will not they're out. And that's more of a rare case, but there are situations of that where that's part of the issue. I do agree. I think it has been improved. I do think there's room for tweaks. I personally think they need to put less weight on, it's a more bottom criteria of last year's results.
Wow.
Because
Ben just put that in the chat a minute ago.
What did he put in the chat?
Too much credence given to previous year's results.
It's irrelevant, and especially when you look at the high school level, the jump that you see kids make. Eric Bone is a great example. I don't mean to be McGuanago here, but we were talking about him a week or 2 ago. He did not qualify for state as a freshman or sophomore, and he won it as a junior and senior. So he never lost at the state tournament. Yeah, wild stat, 2-time state champ. But the high school kids, specifically, the jumps that they can make in 1 year's time is immense. It is gigantic. So the weight of criteria of last season's results should be one of the bottom criterias of where people should be
Man,
seated.
I would love to know who he lost to at sectionals his sophomore year.
Jake,
Trying to.
you're on it. Okay, but so I think there are things that are good. There need to be tweaks. There really needs to be human input because we can't just go based off computers. We're not in an AI world, not yet at least.
I think something that could also help that is you give a little bit more weight, because I think everything's 1 point, right? If you make just the head-to-head 1.5 points, maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. But maybe that eliminates the human element.
Head-to-head should have a lot more weight to it for sure.
I think so, especially in the same year.
In this situation, yeah. We remember, and I agree, freshmen are unfairly punished right now, and I think it's because there's so much weight on previous year results. Because we remember Kellen Wolbert coming in as a freshman and beating Ben Bass. Was it 2 times or 3 times?
Twice.
And even
2 before stating.
Yeah.
Right, and seated behind him, it was like, what are we doing here?
doing?
So, but I don't want to beat a dead drum with this one. You know?
I think, and the
But
fun
that drum
part about
makes
this
no
is,
noise.
like, when I think about Valerie's point with Caleb getting the 5 seed, it all ended up wrestling itself out, right? Caleb ended up.
Yeah, but
And-
what if it
and I
didn't
think
in that situation? You know what I'm saying?
If it, yeah.
Fair. I
Could
think
you, I mean, you couldn't say, like, oh, he would have won state from a different part of the bracket. I mean, that could be.
You very well could have potentially, because it depends on who you're matched up against. You know?
Yeah, it wrestles its way out, but it's also if
You
if
want it to be, like, good seeding.
It's a true
On
state
principle.
champ,
the
right?
pursuit
Yep.
is the
Yeah.
best seeding possible, then you should pursue to get the
Right,
best
and
seeding
I
possible.
get that, like, you got to beat whoever's in front of you, and when it's more chaos, you are the quote unquote true state champ. But you've earned a seed, so you don't need to beat. In my opinion, you'd never need to beat everyone in your bracket. You need to beat the people that are in front of your bracket. And if you're at the state tournament, if you're at Fargo, you're at a national tournament, like, I want a better seed because I don't want to have that many tough matches. Like, it's not that you're afraid of tough matches. It's that when you're in tough matches, you're in close matches, there's more of a percent chance that you're going to lose. So you've earned the right to have a smaller percentage compared to others.
Just go back to the old way, free for all. Finals matches on a Thursday.
The Matrix.
Colin Krause and Robert Lee wrestled in the quarterfinals.
That's during this seeding system, when have we had the quasi-finals match on a Thursday afternoon?
Never.
We have not yet.
So it fixed that.
Agreed. I'm there with you on that one. But hey,
You got to have a little spice in here somewhere.
yeah.
Have entertaining Thursday matches.
Oh, and there are. And mind you guys, what did Mel Dow tell us last year, Jake? Okay, cool.
A little seeding chaos, or not?
Thursday night was the first
Oh,
time in
sold out.
history that the Kohl Center was sold out last year on Thursday. So we sold out the entire weekend last year at the state tournament. So you know what?
It's impressive.
Right.
Look
it's
at that
impressive.
beautiful floor. They're getting the
Look at that.
I was going to ask a question. Is this the first year that it's ever been all black mats?
and it's octagon.
Yes, I think so.
It is,
and it's
right?
little octagons. Yes, I believe it's the first year all black mats. They always brought in
I
the
didn't
high school
know
mats.
it's the octagon.
We got here this morning when the Badgers, the wrestling team, was setting up. All the coaches were, down on their hands and knees. And you know who else was, guys? In dress pants, dress shirt, we had the man, Mel Dow, sweating his butt off on the ground, on the floor, setting up mats. It was pretty impressive. Hey, you got to get your hands dirty. It doesn't matter. It was kind of like one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter, where you are on a pecking order.
On the
Pecking
ladder.
order. On the
Yeah,
ladder,
no.
yeah. You just,
Mel's not afraid to do
he's
the
a hard
dirty
worker.
work.
He's a hard
We do
worker.
have a couple of Brian and Scott are on the same page here, and I kind of brought it up at the start why it's important to separate that top four, especially the new brackets this year. I know not specifically on our topic list, but everyone gets 2 matches now, and the caveat with that is you have to make the semis to be top 4. What's everyone's thoughts on it?
I hate it.
I like that there's a wrestle back. I think that that's pretty cool. I know that the time constraint, and they're trying to do the best to appease everyone that they can with the time constraint. Obviously, it's not perfect. I do like that the wrestle back is here, though.
I love that they're having 2 matches. Okay, 2 matches is great, but not being able to wrestle back for third, would I be more okay with it if seeding was correct? Yeah, probably, maybe a little bit, but it's not fully
If
right.
seeding was perfect, we'll
If
say.
if seeding was perfect, I would be more okay with it. But I don't like that because, every year there are people that lose first round and wrestle back for third place. It's just simple as that. You have a bad match off the scale. You don't have a good warm up. Whatever.
There's always
the
a
nerves
Patrick
get to you.
McKee there.
There is. There really is. There's always a Patrick McKee, and so I really don't love the idea of semis automatically make third place because the person that places 5th could, especially depending on where you are in those brackets on the championship sides, like you may have 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 wrestling.
And also every year we had 216 wrestlers not even get a chance to wrestle back because of
True.
they didn't get a chance for a second match. I think in the egalitarian perspective, I think it's awesome that everyone gets to wrestle on 2 days. It kind of makes the Madison, the Kohl Center, the whole state experience better. And 216 out of 752, that's a pretty large chunk of wrestlers and a large chunk of the community that get to experience it. Again, I'm interested in seeing how it all shakes out. How many of those wrestlers that wouldn't have got a second match last year, how many of them go on to place? I think that's going to be a big question that we have to answer after this year. I just hope, I know we do lose wrestling all the way back to third, and I personally love that as well. I really hope that this just means we're another step closer to full wrestlebacks. Everyone gets 2 matches because that's the dream, right?
Yep.
And I also want to bring up the point, too. Everyone wants full wrestlebacks, but if you look at the attendance stats from last year, the 4th session with the Consi semis and the 5th and 3rd matches was the least attended session. So I guess if people want to make their voice heard, they got to be active in going to those as well.
A little call out. I like it. I understand.
Mateah, what are your thoughts on this?
I guess I wanted to bring up a couple of the girls' brackets where I thought the seeds were off before we get off of that topic.
Yeah.
I was looking at 114, and we had number 4 Dalen Cody. Or she was seeded number 4, but she's been ranked number 2 the entire season. And she beat the number 2 seed Izzy Sonnentag. So she's on the same side of the bracket as Taylor Whiting, which Taylor is a Fargo champ. So I don't know. I felt like
Tough
those
draw.
two. Yeah, I feel like those two should have been separated, especially since Dalen has wrestled Izzy Sonnentag. So
And beat her.
yeah, and beat her. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. And then I had another one. This was at, I believe, 165. We had Lainey Vaughn versus Kimura Hutter, which they're 3-3 right now. And Kimura got the number 1 spot while Lainey got the number 5 seed. So, Teague, what do you think about that? Did you see that one?
That is tough, especially they're from Adams Friendship in Watoma, Wild Rose, where I'm a Boston guy. I'm a South Central Conference guy. I would have loved a match 7 on Saturday night for the best of 7 to see who wins the season series and a state title.
Times already?
It's what?
This year?
They've wrestled 6 times, and they're 3-3 against each other. It doesn't write it much better than that. What makes it interesting, I think Alicia Berg got the 2 seed off of last year's state accolades, which we don't need to keep going into that. But she did take down Vaughn and Hutter first in both their matches. They ended up pinning her. So I am with you narrative-wise. I would have loved to see them on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah. And what I think is interesting about that is, like, yes, Alicia made it to state last year and Lainey didn't.
But she lost to both of them.
Yes. And also, like, Lainey was in a sectional with a really good wrestler. I don't remember who she wrestled, but, like...
She was with Hutter, yeah.
Oh, last year?
Lainey, last year. I don't know what bracket she was in last year.
Because last year she didn't make it to state because it was top 1 only. She took 2nd. So that's, like, it's a little bit flawed with the girls' seeding because they only had top 1 making it to state last year.
Hey, guys, we're actually joined by a special guest right now. It's perfect timing because
to field all our bracket questions.
Questions, but I'm holding some things in my hand as well. So perfect timing to introduce the next member of our show, Mel Dow. We were just talking about you. So we saw you working hard. You were working hard down there on the mats and sweating. And guys, he was wearing this outfit right here, and he was on his hands and knees taping mats and rolling them out. So he's not above it.
It's what the wrestling community does, right?
It is.
It's
hard work,
it's
right?
part of the culture.
Hard work. When? How long ago was it that you probably last laced up your shoes?
Ooh, 2 years ago.
Oh, that's
not that
significantly sooner than I was gonna. Yeah, okay.
2 years ago.
Do you recall what it was for?
Yeah, the boys wanted to scrap.
Trenton and Tyler.
Trenton and Tyler wanted to scrap, and then.
You still got it, Mel?
Oh, come on.
Hey, I am undefeated in the family. Just saying.
Love it.
Can't stay at home if you lose, right?
And then the last time I really went hard though was over at the Michigan State Open. Tyler went over and competed right after recovering from an injury, and went over there to compete. And so I went over to assist them, and we got a good blow in. So
that's pretty cool. Do you get sore for a few days after? I have to guess.
No.
You recover well.
Wrestlers, we're tough, right?
I like it.
Come on.
I absolutely like it.
We don't talk about our faults.
Well, some do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm washed up. I talk about it all the time.
He gets washed up. So, but hey, Mel, we were actually just talking about kind of the new setup we got going this year. We got octagon mats a little bit. When people get here, you'll see that they're cut and whatnot, but just a little bit different feel. The brackets, wrestling back for 5th or 3rd from the semis. We're talking about that. Could you kind of just give us a quick glance at kind of what went into those changes?
Yeah, I mean we're excited. It's going to be another great event. It's going to bring a whole nother bit of energy to this year's state tournament. Just got the announcement. We are sold out on tickets.
Again,
yep.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, sold out.
Oh.
That's awesome.
We've been tracking that really close, and last night when I went to bed, it was 228 tickets left, and this morning, 8 o'clock, tickets are sold out.
Yeah,
So,
I did see a lot of people on the Facebook and the forum and stuff like that saying I got tickets available, and
Yep.
so it's turning into that
yeah, so
heavy demand.
and that's great, and it's a great bang for the buck to be able to come and see the show. But no, we knew 2 years ago the university had shared with us that they were going to be changing the dimensions of the Kohl Center. It was going to shrink it by 12%, so we knew that we had to come up with a new layup. So we rotated everything by 90 degrees. We took out the corners where the tables were to be able to shrink that in a little bit. Understand that we lose in 12% of the floor space, so we had to find out how do we get rid of 12% of the participants on the floor. And we know we're not going to get rid of the wrestlers. We know we're not going to get rid of the officials. We know we're not going to get rid of the clock workers. So what we did was we put the cheerleaders, they're going to be in the front row of the ends of the arena for rounds 1 through 4.
Okay.
So they're not going to cheer from the floor for those first 4 sessions. And then we took out the third coach's chair. We surveyed the coaches last year. Unbeknownst to them, we were monitoring the entire event, and over 90% of the third coaches were just there as cheering. They weren't actually coaching. And I asked several of our coaches that were on our advisory board, do you look to that third coach for advice during a match? And they said no. So we knew that we had to eliminate something to get to that 12%. So that's how we worked that out. But we're going to bring that third coach's chair back for the finals, to make it more of a celebration for the athletes at that moment.
Yep. And then the brackets, they're a little change up. That's just part of the time constraints with the?
Yep. So the coaches have been asking for years. They want every kid to have 2 matches here at the state tournament. And so when we found out that we were losing 12% of the floor space, we used that as a bargaining chip to be able to get ourselves an extra 2 hours in the event.
Okay.
And so that's why we're starting everything today an hour earlier, and then we made up the hour over the last 3 years just on efficiency.
You guys are very efficient. I remember last year, timed out. The entire thing was timed out. You told me exactly when the session would end, when it would start, and you were dead on for multiple sessions.
And this is the first year with new scoring rules, which has generally made tournaments go by.
Has that been
quicker.
brought into it? That's a great point, Teague. Is that brought?
That's not factored in, but we're banking on it.
Okay.
Obviously, because there's going to be more matches here at the tournament.
So
we're gonna see how that plays out. Obviously, it's going to be an evaluation year where we make some adjustments. But the coaches asked for 2 matches for every kid, and so that's. We came up with a bracket that can allow every kid to get 2 matches. Yes, it's not a true wrestle back to third, but there's that compromise. For many years, the state of Wisconsin, you had to make it to the semifinals to make it in the top 4. Again, if we added a true wrestle back to third, that was going to be a 6-hour addition of time at the event. There's no possible way that we were able to get that in 3 days. So
6 hours is a lot.
It is. So again, it's baby steps to get to where we want to be.
And now, I personally would probably be on the side of not a fan of this, but would you guys ever go to the 4-day like Iowa has recently done, the 4-day state tournament?
That's going to take a vote from the board of control. They're obviously going to hear from the membership. The concern there is the amount of time that kids are out of school.
I think for me, and I'm one person, but I think 4 days. I don't know what you guys would think over there. I think 4 days is too long. 3 days is like that nice sweet spot of length for a state tournament. You guys?
Well, I guess it depends on what I'm losing. If it's going to be full wrestlebacks, I mean, obviously I would be for it, but not really feasible right now.
Sure.
Yep.
But I understand the school argument.
And we know that it's evolving with the sport of wrestling growing in the state of Wisconsin. We know that there's going to be changes on the horizon.
Yeah.
We don't want to make a change and then have to revert back and then make a change and then revert back. These are all natural progressions.
Yeah.
I mean, those within the leadership of the Coaches Association know that I talk about all the time that it's chess, okay? We're thinking 2 and 3 moves ahead in anticipation of what's coming down the line. We already know what things are going to look like 2 to 3 years from now when girls really blows up in their numbers.
Absolutely.
And so how can we accommodate that to still continue to make sure that their championship event is as equal, if not better, than what it currently is? So, again, that's all part of the strategy. Those are the things that are behind the scenes. Yeah, it's really quick to make a subjective decision right now on something and pass judgment on it, but you don't know what that's going to lead into moving forward. And that's some of that strategy that we have to do. And I think the Coaches Association would agree that these are all steps that are moving in a positive direction, and ultimately, we're going to get there. it's a 10-year process.
Yeah, it's step by step, day by day, year by year. Understandable. Well, we have you here. I've been holding these in my hand for probably 10 minutes. Some of you may remember from last year. But the WIA has graciously given us tickets for every session, and as you mentioned, it is sold out. So it's going to be hard to find tickets when it's sold out. So we are doing a giveaway. If you go to our Facebook, the live stream on our Facebook, in the comments, what do we got to do today, guys? Say something nice about...
Does it say something nice or best state experience?
No,
Ooh,
let's...
you know what I'd like to do?
What do you like?
I'd like to give a little shout out to some officials.
Okay.
So let's have somebody say something that they saw an official do over this season.
I'm good with that. In Teague's eyes, Teague's going to be the one monitoring the comments. We will come back with the winner the second half of the show. Say something nice about the officials from this season, about officials or official, in the comments on Facebook. That's where oh boy.
That's where we will pick our winner.
Thank you. Ding, 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 ding.
I think that's great. We wouldn't have this event without our officials. And, we're constantly trying to find new officials and also help elevate the ones that we currently have. This year for the regionals, because we added the girls' regionals, we literally tapped into every possible official that was available. And we had some really young, inexperienced officials doing regionals this year.
Yeah.
We have to admit it. It's a reality. We cannot deny it. But what we need to do is continue to make that pool deeper, so therefore they can be more quality officials as they move forward.
That's a great point.
I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. We got a question from Pat.
On the wrestlebacks this year with the new kind of time frame, are we doing still the 1-2-2s on the backside?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That's an NFHS rule, and we do it all year long anyway.
Okay.
Every tournament that you go to, it's 1-2-2. By state, what are the consolation matches?
1-2-2.
Okay.
The Royal Invitational, what are the consolation matches?
1-2-2.
1-2-2.
So it is an NFHS thing then.
It's an NFHS
I
rule.
feel like
Yep.
Teague's in school right now.
Well, if we
1-2-2.
1-2-2.
But again, it's for the efficiency of the tournament. And yes, we're still continuing moving forward. Anything that's a championship progression match, those are 2-2-2. So when you take a look at those matches that are wrestled at regionals and sectionals, they're all 2-2-2. Why? Because if you're still wrestling at regionals,
still
or
a
sectionals,
qualifier.
it's
Yep.
still a qualifier. So again,
That's a
it's
great- Wow,
understanding
Something I
the
didn't know.
concept.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was more because of time and space, that they had the time and the space to wrestle the 2-2-2, and maybe they were trying to speed it up. And I think that's probably what a lot of people thought, to be honest.
Now, we could have a state adaptation and have it 2-2-2, just so
Sure.
you know. But again, where we're at with time constraints and
Okay.
those kind of things, what's the lesser of two evils, if I could use that phrase? Okay.
Yep.
Does everybody get two matches, or do we want them all to be 2-2-2? We had to pick and choose which one of those was more beneficial to the athletes. And we think giving every kid that opportunity to get a second weigh-in at the state tournament, which they're going to have this year,
Yep.
think about that experience that those first-year qualifiers are going to get now that they get to weigh in twice and go through that whole experience. That's more like a championship experience back when Pat was wrestling here,
Yeah.
right?
Fair.
Yeah. Well, Mel, thank you. I just thank you for stopping in. Thank you
bet.
for joining us.
Appreciate what you guys do for the state and the sport of wrestling, and just continue to support us and our kids.
Absolutely.
Mel, a quick story for if we all have the time. It's going to take me like 2 minutes.
I would love it. I would love a quick story.
A Dow-related story, because I just brought this up to someone yesterday. But I was doing a bracket. I do a little bracket challenge with a group of friends every year. And it was 17 or 18. You know the exact year when it happened. But Tyler Dow is wrestling Eddie Smith from Sauk Prairie. And I think that was the year it was Tyler, Eddie, and I think Hayden Crine was on the opposite side of the bracket. I was one of the few that picked Dow because I think he lost to Crine the year before. So I was kind of going with the quote-unquote out there pick. And Dow throws Smith, gets the pin on him. I'm jumping up and celebrating, and my friends start pulling me down and like wrangling me in. And I look back, and Eddie Smith's mom and a bunch of Sauk fans are right behind me. And they had to basically, we had to talk to them afterwards and be like, hey, just so you know, this is why he was because I'm a Holman guy celebrating. I was celebrating Tyler winning, but Holman and Sauk had a pretty good rivalry back then. So they thought I was just a vindictive Holman supporter. But funny story in hindsight, not funny in the moment.
The wrestling community knows how close and how tight-knit everybody is. And, yes, they compete out here. But you know what? Those kids grew up together. They battled as they were growing up. And, some great memories. I think back the time where we had dinner after the Wisconsin Classic at the Green Mill in Hudson with the Rashkas. I mean, it's just a tight-knit community. And yeah, you shake hands, you battle each
Scrap,
other,
yeah.
and then you have to be friends afterwards. And those were some great rivalries amongst those kids.
Late 2010s had some epic.
Some of those are the best matches too. If you think about it, is the guys that are best friends with each other are really close friends, and then they go out there and they scrap. Whether it's at the state tournament, an in-season tournament, or we've had it a few times, Jake, at the Big Cheese and stuff. Those are some of my favorite matches because, like you said, they are really close friends, and
Yep.
they don't. We're gonna battle.
Mutual respect for each other, and see what you can tweak one time to the next to see if you can change it up. You think about that. Tyler's senior year. Those two guys, they had 2 matches on the year. Somebody strategized a little bit better the second time around. That's what you're supposed to do in these type of situations. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mel. Again, if you want to enter into this contest to win state tickets, Jake, do we have the picture?
Yep, right here.
These are where your seats are going to be. You are front row, down below in that lower bowl, front row for all sessions for these tickets. If you want to enter in, go to the Facebook live stream. In the comments, say something nice about an official from this season. Sound good?
Oh, yeah, I put
everybody.
it in the comments.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
Appreciate it, Mel. Okay, well, speaking of the state tournament, I wanted to ask Mateah, what is your favorite state experience you've had? Whether it'd be wrestling or it would be just an experience that you're here. What's one of your favorite moments you've had here at the state tournament?
That's a tough question. Obviously, because I never was able to wrestle at the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But probably just working last year for you guys and recording on the floor, yeah.
That was not a setup, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to let it be known that was not a setup. So I am just surprised by that answer as you guys. So
If you could, where would you rank your WWF title against, or your match against Roseanne Marshall?
Oh, my gosh.
All-time match.
That was the last match of my high school career. And I was beating her. I'm still a little bit salty, so I was
Whoops.
I was beating her, and then in the last couple of seconds, she cradled me and got near fall point. So, yeah, that was a rough one, but
That is tough.
yeah.
So I'm gonna say that one's probably pretty low.
The fans won.
I'm gonna say that
The fans won there.
that one's pretty low. Okay, Pat, what's your? I'm curious. You've been at the Kohl. You grew up with the Kohl Center. You grew up wrestling here. You grew up just coming here as a fan. If you had one, do you have a favorite experience?
I would say as an athlete, winning in the semis was pretty cool. Pretty surreal moment, you know.
Who'd you beat?
Manning Dink from DC Everest. Yeah, we had split that year.
Okay, so that's a little more to it then.
Yeah, it was same conference.
Okay.
Yeah, so we wrestled in the semis. Got that win back, but I would say more realistically, the best state tournament experience for me was when my brother won it.
Really?
Right? Yeah, that was 2-3 years ago now.
Who'd he beat?
He beat Ben Bast in the semis, and then Wyatt Skeba in the final.
I remember that because it was an upset a little bit, right?
It was a wide. I know.
It was
picked
kind of a
him to
wide open
win.
weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of a wide open weight, but no, for sure. I freaked out. I was crying. It was great.
Were you more nervous for that than your own?
For
wrestling?
sure. For sure. I was pacing. I was sweating. It was crazy. It was not cool.
That's loyal, brother. Teague, you've had some moments. You're jumping up and down in front of Sock fans, and you commentate, and you got a lot of moments here at the state tournament. Tell me what might be yours.
There was the time I had to take over for Joe Miller on TV 2 years ago, and I didn't bring a jacket. A nice outfit, and I was wearing a ramen stained shirt, and I still had my long hair. I did not look TV friendly that year.
Looking
but
almost that time.
But it was, yeah. That's that was actually the week that I did the bracket release, and as someone said that I had the hygiene of a homeless person.
Oh,
no. That's where it all started, and then I was on TV.
That was the homeless
later that week, and then last year Shane Sparks couldn't make it, so I filled in for him. Scary big shoes to fill, and that was definitely a core memory for me, and also too. Just the start of the Dippin' Dots renaissance at state. That was just absolutely wild.
How many Dippin' Dots do you think will you consume this weekend? How many Dippin' Dots do you think you're going to pawn off to me as I will happily accept?
It's a tough question, and it's a tough pill to swallow for me too. Because I mean, you guys talk about being washed up. I won't deny it, but I've been sitting here silently in the corner. I am now 30 years old, and I got through a few rounds of dots at Bi-State, and I just don't know if I have it in me anymore. I'm just not built like. Yeah, I'm facing the repercussions of what I put into my body a little more than when I was
Do you have a best flavor? What's your?
Oh, Rainbow Ice.
Oh,
Rainbow. I've
no.
consumed so many Rainbow Ice dots. It's unreal.
Really?
I'd say once I get to 10 this year, and like, we'll gladly take dots.
10?
I'll probably start a pay it forward program for people as well. Or if you want to buy me a meal, I'll give you my Venmo or something. Like the dots, I can only take so much, and I do it. It's so hard to turn them down. I say it now, and then someone's like, "You want dots?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
Well,
So-
I will be first in line for that program of the ones that you don't want. I love chocolate and cookies and cream. The rainbow one might actually be the worst flavor out of all of them. Just
I'll try. You're not making a great case for you to get dots.
that's fine. You know what? I don't want your hand-me-down dots. I don't want those.
I know those are fun things at the state tournament, but I think Jake might have a little more meaningful accolades than me.
Yeah, Jake, do tell. You're back there. We want to know, what was your favorite experience at the state tournament?
Oh, I would say junior year, first state title. It's probably the best one. Senior year was fun, but junior year was definitely.
Who'd you beat?
Junior was the same person senior year, Dalton Hahn.
Oh, you wrestled him twice in the finals?
Yeah.
I remember
1 and
that.
2 in the state. We were both on opposite sides both years in a row. Both met in the finals. It was like deja vu.
You can't
Really
meet in the finals if you're on the same side.
opposite sides.
I know.
And then we met in the finals. Opposite sides of the bracket.
He's saying you didn't need to say opposite sides because
Oh,
you can't meet.
That's
in
my
the
fault.
finals.
It was
I get
it was
both
a lot
of
of bracket talk.
He was getting
So
a
I
little
think
technical.
That's
He was
my
getting
fault.
technical there.
That's
That's on
digging
me.
in.
I'm a
Digging
jerk.
in.
It's
Get a little-
funny wrestling
I'm a
the
jerk.
same person 2 years in a row. But no, state finals, junior year was the best one, undefeated. So that was like kind of a fun way to finish the season. But yeah, that was junior year is by far the best.
Poor Dalton Hahn.
Yeah, I feel bad for him now.
I gotta put this in the chat. Ben said why Askren,
Okay,
sorry.
sorry.
Ben
There's a lot of
Askren
Bens.
in the chat. Why do wrestling moms like Teague so much more than Nate?
pretty
I
sad,
don't know. It might just be my boyish charm. I couldn't really put something on that one. I do have my I Love Wrestling Mom shirt, so chat, if you want me to wear that tomorrow morning, put it in there, and I will. I don't know if it was like professional enough for state, but it might be a fun one to wear for tomorrow's session.
I think you should wear it.
Jake, you had some great experiences. You won a couple of state titles. You know what might have made those state titles a little bit better?
What?
If you were rocking some combat corner gear back in the day.
Ooh, that'd have been
He's-
perfect.
You think about like just warming up in that, Jake. How comfortable? I mean, I'm wearing it right now. How comfortable is it?
Wore the sweatshirt today. I love it. The best piece. I haven't put a full singlet on. We don't have any 2Xs. The big cheese shorts were awesome.
They are, aren't they? They are very comfortable. I really like
The white ones we were selling, hot seller. We sold those out like way.
What did I
quicker than
say?
thought.
I said and we talked about that one because we were talking about the colors. Those shorts are, I mean, they're pretty sweet, but the white they get them done really quickly. We were able to get all of that gear very fast. I think my favorite piece is probably this crew neck that I'm wearing right now.
That crew neck looks sick.
It is unbelievably comfortable. Like I cannot express how comfortable it is. And I didn't take one right away, and I believe we had them for like months. And then I looked at Jake. I'm like, I don't have a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I like it.
And he tells me take this one. I put it on, and it's
Comfy?
good. Yes, it's
Yeah.
soft. It's significantly warmer than you would expect, which is when you're wearing a sweatshirt, I'd rather have one be too warm than too cold. So it's a good problem to have. But then the t-shirts, they're like, what is that?
Just
The
fit
little
right.
elastic or something where the arms are
Yeah,
just
they
like
just fit
they just
right.
pop a little bit. Like Mateah, you know what I'm talking about. You just get the biceps
Yeah,
going just a
yeah,
little
they
bit.
fit nice.
Pop
Right?
the guns out, Mateah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You probably would have looked better too, Jake. Especially considering all that long hair that you had. If you
I
had
need
some,
it.
He
combat
was a
corner
true Pewaukee pirate, man.
I
Pewaukee.
I needed a combat corner head
What?
cap.
What?
Pewaukee.
I said Pewaukee.
Yeah.
Pewaukee.
Okay.
I'm being
All
like
right.
Pat. I'm
yeah.
being like Pat.
Yeah.
That's the guy
Man,
that can't
you
pronounce the last name.
That's
Hey,
some
stay in your lane.
wild work.
Hey, you are right. A combat corner.
Head cap?
Head cap?
Would have went crazy.
If I can make that happen and get you one, would you wear one
I
on
still can't
stream
believe
or something?
Man, I would have thrived in the days of not having to shave or have your hair cut. I remember getting my hair cut by first aid scissors. South.
Oh, dude, that happened to me so many times. That little box cut right here.
Ridiculous.
That was my go-to. My dad was a perfect barber for it.
Hindsight, like what a just so dumb and outdated rule that you can't like. Mateah, could you imagine having short hair?
No, I would never.
Well, that's not a rule. Was it?
No, it wasn't for her, but I'm just saying, imagine it was a rule for like
That's
the
the
girls
worst.
too. Like my point is how dumb of a rule.
You're getting mad about a hypothetical rule.
Because how dumb was it already
We
for
don't
the
have
guys?
time for this.
How dumb was it for the guys?
there's no way they would have that rule for.
but we had to wear like the hair caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things suck.
Yeah,
I had to
those were
wear a
the
hair
worst.
cap once. I didn't like it.
I wrestled
That's what-
every day with
But
that
you
thing on.
don't have to do that anymore though, right?
No, you don't have to.
You did wear a hair cap a lot because Jake and I practiced together
Yeah.
a lot, and when he didn't wear a hair cap, sometimes I would lose a lot, understandably so.
Okay.
You got to get your get back somehow. Sometimes you just fucking yank it.
Wow.
Sometimes you just get it there. Anywho, Jake, where's the?
I'm so happy because we're going from that to our next topic, which
Yes,
is the
this-
the craziest flip.
Yes. So so we are going to get to a break here shortly, but I do want to take a moment to recognize one individual here. As you see him popping up on the screen, John Worbicki, head coach of McGuanago Wrestling, otherwise known as Dubs. If anybody's ever been around him, wrestled with him, or was coached by him, you know him as Dubs. You don't call him Coach Worbicki, you call him Dubs. As you can see, we got some of his accolades on here. Coach Worbicki doesn't know that I'm doing this. He doesn't know that I asked somebody at McGuanago to help me out with some of these stats here, as you see on the screen. But Coach Worbicki is hanging up his coaching shoes after the state tournament this weekend. And you know what? Maybe we don't do this for every coach, but
It's
he
your
was
coach.
he was my coach.
It's
Dang
your
it.
company,
He
and
was
you
my
are.
coach.
Yeah,
It
you
was
have
my,
every right.
Mine and Jake's company, so I get to do this. I want to do this. And you know what, Coach Worbicki, you deserve the recognition of this. So if you see him this weekend, honestly, tell Coach Worbicki thanks. Tell Dubs, thank you, or good job, congratulations. Shake his hand. He'll probably be confused at first why so many people are saying these things, but he deserves it. I didn't tell him that I was doing this. I just. Because in true,
What's public now?
In true Dubs fashion, it wasn't that it wasn't public that he is hanging it up. He's kind of made that known a little bit to a bit. He told the team and people like that. He hasn't posted on social media about it. But in Dubs fashion, he would have definitely said, "You do not need to do that." Blah blah blah. Like it wasn't just me; it was all these other people. But he's the head coach of the program. They won conference basically every single year. I think he said if you would have counted the year that they tied, because they tied for a conference championship one year, I think they would have won it 17 years in a row. So every year that he coached, they won conference. And again, there's 3 teams at Team State this weekend from Classic 8. So tough conference of wrestling, but as you see, he had a few state champions, a lot of state placers and qualifiers in a time that wrestling is really good, and honestly, I don't feel like that's a huge span of time, a big period of time. So I just want to say, Coach Worbicki, thank you. I know I'll see you this weekend, but you're the man, and you've earned it. And have fun, I don't know, teaching at high school and living life, not coaching wrestling, following your kids' tennis careers as they finish up in college. So I just want to say thank you, Dubs.
Let's go, Dubs.
Let's go, Dubs. Thank you, Dubs. So, other than that, though,
I'm glad you dropped the F-bomb, dude. I did that once in one of my podcasts, and I had the same reaction, like,
I feel like I should do something for him, though. Like,
Coach Dubs.
Yeah, I don't know. We should do something besides this, right? Like, could we not
Get him dots was a recommendation.
get him dots?
That was a recommendation.
Start handing him dots.
Coach dots.
We could,
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe some combat corner gear, or maybe we get him a pair.
What
of
about
shoes.
those? Yeah, that's pretty slick right there.
These 3-point takedown shoes? They are pretty slick. Maybe we get him a pair of those that he can hang in the rafters or something, or throw them over a light pole. I don't know, but phone wire, whatever those are called. But no, the 3-point takedown shoes right here. Mr. Brock Berglund, Wisconsin, Denmark alumni. How many times did he win state? 3?
I believe 3.
3 times, I believe. We got these here on the table right now, and guess what we're about to do with them? We're going to do another giveaway.
Another
I thought you were going to say we're going to lace them up and go at it.
No, we're doing another giveaway.
love
We're
to see
doing
that.
another giveaway, and it's not just the 3-point takedown shoes. We are going to give away a pair of the Caden Henschel shoes as well.
Nice.
This time, to enter, there will be 2 winners. You enter 1 time for this. Teague, in the eyes of you, what do we think? Funniest comment in the chat?
Funniest comment.
No, let's go with
What do we got?
You're most excited to watch this week.
Okay.
Wrestler, yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Wrestler, we're most excited to watch this week. I'll get that in the comments.
So if you want to win a pair of 3-point takedown wrestling shoes or a pair of those Caden Henschel wrestling shoes, put in the comments in the Facebook. We're not checking Rokfin comments for the giveaway. In the Facebook comments, put in there the wrestler that you are most excited to watch this weekend.
So we're giving away 2 shoes?
We are giving away a pair of 3-point takedowns and a pair of Caden Henschel's. 2 shoes, so there's going to be 2 winners, and there will be 1 winner for all sessions, first row, individual state tournament tickets.
So many giveaways
this weekend. So many giveaways. Put stuff in the comments if you want a chance to win. What do you think about that, Pat, Mateah? What do you guys
That
think?
sounds pretty cool. Can I comment?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not. I was thinking.
Can I?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Teague's going to scroll and pick a random winner, so if it lands on your name.
It's a lot of responsibility on my shoulder. I would not pick either one. It might seem a little,
It would look weird.
be a tough look for the brand.
But when we come back, we will be joined by another special guest. I don't want to give away who it is, but we will be joined by another special guest. We have a few more topics to talk about, like the most wins of all time in state tournament history. We have the giveaway winners, and we'll have a lot to talk about. So when we come back, enjoy this video now, and we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Let's take 10.
Let's do it. Try. Yeah.
What's up, fool?
Hey, how you doing?
Like RQ10. Shake RQ10. The man behind the camera.
You know what would be cool for the 100th episode?
What?
Probably some intro music.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I think the only thing that make me feel better is if the WIwrestle podcast had a little intro music.
What were the best places, best atmospheres that you've ever wrestled in? Where?
I mean, Kohl Center number 2.
Yeah,
Kohl Center number 2 for sure. Whether it was the state meet or even Big Tens, that place is magical as well.
Hey, on the mat right now. We're doing a really nice job. He's going to get those wrists. But on your feet, you are excellent. On your feet, you are excellent. But we need to make that shot, that fake, that second one. Go hips, heavy hips, and run that corner. Run that corner. All day for you, young man. All day for you, young man. Down. Come on, Jacob. Get it, Jacob. Yes. Let's go. This is awesome. I love you. You deserve this. I'm so happy for you. State champion. Hey, you're much better off now because of what you had to go through the last 2 years.
I'm a believer that we'll wrestle anybody because we're not going to be undefeated in dual season. We're not going to be undefeated, but it preps us for the national meet. And you got to have tough matches. And until you've been in those tough matches, if you're just going out scoring at will, I just don't feel like we work on as many things that we need to. So for our guys, we want to wrestle the best guys in the nation, D1, D2, D3, whomever it is, just to get that experience and go, because then you have things to work on.
From today, pretty much. June 15th, we're leaving. So
That's
we're going out for orientation, and then we're going to junior duels. Try to wrestle for Team Wisconsin one more time, get a national championship for Team Wisconsin, and then we'll go back to Penn State for good.
You're really going to junior duels?
Yeah. Me and Cole will be splitting time, and then Sinclair will be on the team, Hopkey, so I think we should win that.
Pretty
national
good dual
title.
team.
Yeah, we should win the national title for sure.
Go back to the video. I know you. Go back to the video.
The video, because I don't want to get accused anymore.
I can't remember who I gave it to. It's one of these.
Not or me. What? It's got to be him because I don't have it.
You can't swear. You gotta put this online. It started a long time ago.
I don't even know where it went. Stop. Oh. Oh.
I'm gonna start fighting.
I'll bite you back.
Hey, this is not quick.
We are different people. Same, but different. But still same.
The WIwrestle exclusive. Still got it.
Let him know, baby.
Kale, how do you feel about that mat?
I don't know. It's the dumbest thing I've ever saw in my life.
He's actually a strong grab.
I was trying to help you up.
Watch behind you, boys.
Now that's going to be on every photo video.
Oh, I missed the beginning. Go again. No.
Just the crowd was fantastic. Having my high school coach, Randy Furl, announce me out, and having Ben, Max, and obviously guys on the Unite team, Parker, Connor Thorpe, Colin Rebuto, all those guys here wrestling as well. It was just a privilege, just super grateful, and the fact that I was able to do something like this is just so amazing.
It was awesome coming back to Wisconsin. This is home. After the match, you can appreciate all the people that, I got a big round of applause, and I couldn't be more blessed to be in front of Wisconsin people, and I don't know, it's so awesome to be here. So.
Want to drive halfway? Spend the night, or if you want to drive the full 10 hours, and around 2 in the morning.
Passengers on the flight must make their way to the immediate
Seven guys wrestle inside. Can't make it up, RQ.
Get down too low here because Skoll's able to just scramble his way in and kind of kill some time as well.
That was a sweet duck.
Just like that.
It was a sweet duck by Doomer, and then look at this defense.
Doomer looking to roll the ankle as Skoll's hurt defense. Champs for a reason as the positioning's great. Right as I say that, Stealth.
Here's the scramble.
In on the low single in a treetop position. Crook looking to maybe find a crackdown position. Stealth trying to hook the ankle.
Oh,
nice work by Crook.
Whoa.
Keeping his hips up, and could Crook find an Oki here? Stealth stays in on the leg, looking to elevate his head again, and Stealth with the follow gets the takedown with 10 seconds to go in the match. and Tristan Stelt. And what was a great exchange
Teague.
between the two. Oh, and Campbell
in on
able to
that
find a leg treetop position. Bass just going to hold the arm. Gets his leg back. Time of the essence. Campbell looking for a dump. Might try to hop his hips over too. Can he peek his head out maybe, Steve?
Oh, he's got that arm out.
With the arm free. Has a hold of the leg. Koji Campbell does it again. No time on the clock. Gets the takedown.
All right, guys, it's Teague here with Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast, and that last match was a barn burner. We had that Auburndale heavyweight versus that Glenwood heavyweight. My God, that was a battle. Back and forth. It's just something we could never expect, and you love to see it like this. Glenwood ended up coming out on top, and the team scores by 0.5. Crazy to see. Never expected.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Kohl Center. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, your host, Nate Archinigo. This is the 2025 WIwrestle individual state show. I am not alone, though. I am joined by three of my good friends. First and foremost, with a big smile on his face, not so homeless, Teague Fenwick, host of the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast. Teague, how'd the first half go for you? Do you have to use the bathroom? How you doing?
I mean, that's what the intermission's for right there.
I got the chair the whole time. I didn't even realize you got
I was out of the chair because I opened the smelling salt. So,
yes.
Yeah.
How'd it taste?
That was a great behind-the-scenes moment.
Story time. I wish I got a video of it. We have these here, and Teague's like, let me open them. And, well, if you guys know anything about smelling salts, they smell. Right? And they probably don't taste good. Ask Teague because he opened the lid.
Very pressurized.
The plastic.
Very pressurized lid.
He opened the part on top of underneath the lid with his mouth, and then he proceeded to almost vomit in the sink. He didn't. He just had to wash his mouth out. But it was very funny. Maybe the only person I've ever seen taste smelling salts. Probably won't do it again.
You just want to smell those salts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understandable. Sitting on the opposite side from you is Mateah Rail. Mateah, you're the host of the Queen of the Mat.
Hey, you remembered this time.
Podcast. Mateah, thank you for being here with us. What did you think so far?
Yeah, I think it's been going well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had fun. Having fun.
She's not having fun.
I'm having fun.
When you have to tell yourself that you're having fun, you might not be having fun.
It's been so much fun, yeah.
Pat?
Yes.
I don't mean to say who you are immediately, but everyone knows you. Coach at Askin Wrestling Academy, close friend of mine, host of the Washed Up podcast.
That's me.
Bones are achy.
Yep.
Taking a seat.
Oh, yeah. No,
Pat, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a good little first half of the show. I'm having fun.
What else?
You know, what else? I mean, I'm excited that this is a little closer. I didn't get to see these earlier. This is the Funky Fresh Spring Rolls from Truman.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that I get to see these a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's where I'm at with this all.
Is Chicken Club your favorite flavor?
I haven't had them in a long time.
I still wish I could sample all four.
That's what I want.
I think you could. I feel like we know a guy that could make that happen, if I'm being honest.
Who's that? I'm joking. I know.
This guy.
Let's go.
Is Truman here in the Kohl Center with us?
He is not here in the Kohl Center with us, but he will be around the Kohl Center all weekend. He will be in the Kohl Center.
Yeah, Truman, if you want to film me, I will try all four of the spring rolls.
Yeah, and if you want to make your own takedown of the week with Teague, I don't mean to volunteer Teague, but I actually exactly what I mean. I just need to volunteer Teague.
I just get taken down by a bunch of kids, like just trying to get in on the hall.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Takedown of the week, and Teague is the guy that everyone's taking down. If you see Teague around this weekend, just take him down. Don't even tell him what you're doing.
That should be a segment you start to do. Like each time you go to a tournament, just be like, who can take me down the best? And then you decide at the end.
You've wrestled Hopke. You got to wrestle Heiser.
Yeah, I have not. Yeah, I've not wrestled Heiser yet. I got to wrestle Ryan from Mineral Point. I did score first in that match, but then I got good old fashioned Mineral Point cradle. So I'm 0-2 in my podcasting career, representing the Wisconsin wrestler.
We should
not
have
a good one.
washed up. No, I'm kidding, Teague.
I don't think you can't be washed up if you were never like it in the first place.
You're in the prime of your
I guess
career. No,
I was a
up 'cause there's a
4-time
level.
regional qualifier. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Speaking of regional qualifiers, Jake, we talked about this last week. Behind the camera, though, we have Jacob Broshka, 2-time state champ, Fargo champ, Missouri alumni, Missouri wrestling alumni. Jake, say hi to the folks. And what do you think about regional qualifier?
Oh, that shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little confused. I don't like saying bad things, but there was a team at a regional we were at, and it said
A team that we like.
I loved it. I loved the team.
Yes.
But it was regional qualifying member, and I was like, that's just a starter. So you're at regionals. I don't know. Felt kind of weird. There must be more to it, but interesting choice.
Is that a shot at you?
Yeah, I feel there's a little shade.
There was no shade.
He's throwing it out.
That sounded like a shot at Teague, dude.
Should have brought an umbrella in here for a prop.
You might have caught a ricochet. You might have just caught might have been a ricochet there. But no, the gang's all here, as some of them might say. And boy, the gang's all here. What are we talking about? We're
As
all
some
here,
of them
damn it.
might say that.
Yeah, some people might say it. Some people might not. I don't know. But no, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. As we kind of talk about everything from so far, we've talked about the seeding of the state tournament. We've talked about some of our favorite experiences. Have I missed anything to this point, you guys think?
No, I think you're on top of it. You're doing a good job.
We're kicking it right now, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then let's go to the next one. I don't know what it is because I don't have that sheet.
Well, I believe we are going to be talking about. Okay.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. It was lost in the sauce.
Do you not just flip over the next page?
I did, and then they got conjumbled.
There's 4 pages total.
They got conjumbled. I think Mateah or someone came over here during the break and might have.
Yeah. They're out.
Mixed them out of order. I kept finding second topic. No, the next topic that we have to talk about is very relevant this year, right, guys? And it's relevant not only for the athletes wrestling, but for a few people in this room as well. And that is the most wins of all time in state history. We have a few wrestlers competing this weekend that are already on that list and looking to add a few more wins to their names, being, I believe, Danny Heiser, Colton Weiler, and
Liam Neitzel, I think.
Liam Neitzel are all over 200 wins, including a few others that are further down on that list, as you can see right there. But the three of them, Neitzel just below, I believe, he's at 200 right now, correct?
Neitzel's at 200. This is the top 10. So Neitzel's right below Dow at 200. But we got 2 active guys, as you can see, Heiser and Weiler, on that top 10 list.
Yes, and 4 more matches for both of them where they can be put.
Well, Heiser's only 3.
Weber taking the top spot there surprises me.
Yeah, okay. They are.
Sorry,
So
I cut you guys off.
Heiser can, if obviously, I'm assuming he's going to win out. So 3 matches, that would be 212 would tie it all time.
What do we think? So you two, Pat, I'll start with you. You're on that list, not this top 10, not the top 10, but you are pretty high. I don't. How many wins?
I think I was 186.
That's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins. So I guess my first question to you then was just, what do you think about kids are getting more matches these days, right? And how does that make you feel as a person that is on this list? What do you think about guys that are getting over 200 wins?
I think it's cool, right? I think it's cool. They are obviously very good wrestlers to have that many wins. I think they would have that many wins back in the day as well, So I don't think that the time period is influencing that much with guys like Heiser or Weiler or guys like that.
Sure.
But it is a little insane to me that kids are coming into the sectional tournament with 50 matches already. I think that's
regionals.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Didn't there used to be a rule that you could only have 50 something in a year?
The most is, it used to be an event specific rule, and now teams can only schedule so much, but individual wrestlers cannot be above 50 matches. And I think that's wrestled matches. So buys and forfeits don't count.
Yes.
but
now
it's
that's not the
still
case, right?
a lot of matches.
Well,
I would say.
Grudenfelder's 56-0 right.
So it's not the case anymore, though. Then, right? Because it's
59
not.
matches.
Well,
It's
he
still
said it's not
he had
wrestled
less
matches.
than he had less than 50 matches or 50 or he'd be at 50, I guess. Going
So
into
should that count towards a record then?
What
If they're not going to count it as like that criteria, should it go on a record?
So are you saying 6 of those matches
That's
were
a
buys?
great question.
Or 6 of those wins were like forfeits or something?
He's
like
saying
that?
at least, yeah.
He just had 50 matches going into regional, so he didn't break anything.
Okay, I thought that changed. I thought it was no longer that there was the limit that of like how many matches it was.
We should ask Mel. I don't know.
The change
Or the
was
comments.
the change was that it was the match limit, I believe. Yeah, if someone wants to correct me in the comments.
For a little
then-
clarification here.
I do think it's a little weird though because I think you see it more in college too, where guys aren't wrestling that much. You know, like I don't think they have that many matches going into like national tournaments and stuff. Why is high school a little different there? I don't know.
I think there needs to be more of a happy medium between the two, between college and high school, because we have so a lot of college guys they get pretty banged up, right? Like there's no secret, it's tough. Wrestling in college is very hard and it's tough on the body. But I think part of that is because nowadays kids are wrestling 200 plus times, and that's it, right? That graphic is just the wins. It doesn't count people's losses, right? For your wins. So kids are wrestling over 200 matches in their high school career of just the high school season, not to mention any off-season tournaments they're doing with freestyle and Greco, or even folk style for that matter. So I actually think high school kids might be wrestling too much right now, and they need to tone it back a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be a lot, but I think that it needs to tone back a little bit because their bodies are breaking down by the time they're sophomores in college because they've had so much wear and tear
the
already.
Discrepancy now with the guys that are in the top 10, that's such a different ballpark. Like they're winning, like college, every match is hard.
Agreed.
Like Grudenfelder's probably had like 45 pins of his 56 wins. Probably been on the mat just a few minutes.
Yeah, but
It's not wear and tear on your body.
But not everybody is a state champ, and
But
that runs
if
through
you have
like
the most wins of all time on this list, you probably put a lot of people away early.
Agreed. But there's a lot of people that go to college that aren't that and do significantly just get. There's more people that go to college and then end up being All-Americans that probably weren't like absolute world studs or like just the cream of the crop coming out of high
What
school.
are you saying, make high school season shorter?
I don't know if I'd say shorter or less tournaments, but like just a few less competitions is all I'm saying.
What
Like,
confuses
Man,
me
you're
is
like changing everything.
I don't know.
You're
Maybe
not a happy guy with any of these.
I don't know. I feel like when I was in high school, I wrestled almost every weekend. I think there was maybe one or two where I didn't, but
I mean, why wouldn't you want to compete?
No,
but I never had
that's not
50
a
matches
problem.
going into regionals. That's what I'm saying. Like, where are all these matches coming
Nate
from?
brought up a good point. There's a lot more There's
a lot
not
of
as many
scrambles
O2
now.
barbecue tournaments.
Okay.
And even if you are a guy like Weiler and Heiser that are on this list with the 200 wins, I understand that they're not going O2 barbecue probably even as freshmen.
Yeah.
But they are starting in those scrambles where instead of just starting in your round of 32 and just advancing, 5 matches or whatever to win the tournament, they start in a scramble where they get 3 matches on day 1 and then they get another 5 on day 2. So instead of a 5 total, they're gaining 3.
So there's more 2-day tournaments?
I do think there are probably more 2-day tournaments, but I think the scramble, like they're getting more matches than they normally would.
I want to wrap up the information end of this real quick on Dylan, who is official, pretty good with the rules. 14 events or 50 matches before regionals for an individual. Josh Burley says buys and forfeits count, so like a lot of these, or not a lot of these, but like in these win counts, buys and forfeits are in there as long as you win after your buy. That is, they do count in the match total, and I know for a fact we won't totally open the can of worms, but there was a couple of guys that had over 50 matches going into regionals. And the coaches talked to me, like I talked to them, and they said they went through like the legislative process where they said buys and forfeits. Like they talked to people, at like the right channels, saying that those don't count in terms of if someone made a call and said, "Hey, this guy can't wrestle because he has 51 matches on his ledger." If you saw 2 buys or forfeits in there, then it wouldn't count. It's weird. It's kind of weird in that sense. So yeah, Josh, you're right. Buys and forfeits count. It's
Reed Spurley's dad, Josh Spurley?
I'm guessing.
I'm
yeah.
assuming so. If it's the case,
Now-
it brings me to a thought. I saw Reed down there earlier this morning, and I did the you stand next to him and you size him up a little bit, and I know he's a small guy in high school. Not in the size him up like I can take you in a match. The size him up, I said to Reed, I was like, "Hey, good to see you." Blah blah blah. I was like, "You're looking big, man. Like you look like you've put on some weight." Blah blah blah. I was like, and so I asked him. I said, "Hey, Reed, you put on some weight?" He goes, "No, None.
I heard he's still pretty small.
Apparently he is. I told him, I said, well, you look bigger. And,
You sized
there's
him
that.
up.
I sized him up. I thought he looked bigger, bigger arms, bigger shoulders. I guess he didn't gain any
Billy
more weight.
Brider's doing work, baby.
Yeah, he's toning him up, I guess. But, no, just a random thing. 3-time state champ from Dodgeville. Freshman this year at Wisconsin. But, no, let's. I don't want him to stand around anymore. He's in the back. He's kind of hanging out right now. But let's get to our next guest. He's the owner and founder of Combat Corner. He's a friend of ours. He's very involved in the wrestling community. Dan LeSavage. How you doing, Dan?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Do you want to sit? Or?
I'm gonna sit.
Okay. Yeah. So Dan, thank you for first of all, just thank you for joining us. How many times have you been to the state tournament? Do you know?
I've only been to the state tournament a couple times, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite experience being here so far?
My favorite experience being here is right now.
Let's go.
You guys.
Again, not a setup. This is not a setup. I feel like he's lying to it. Who is? My dad must not be watching right now because he's calling me. So.
Classic calling.
I saw the smelling salter.
You want to take a whiff?
I'm not taking a whiff, but I saw him open it with his teeth.
I'll take a whiff.
You're a dummy.
Okay, well.
That went up both.
Are you going to take one now, Teague?
Great start to the. Not right now.
Dan was
we'll
talking
see.
to us about smelling salts earlier, and that you had an experience with him at Arnold's powerlifting nationals, right?
No, the Arnold's is a huge sport festival, so they have all sorts of different surf sports.
Yeah. Oh, jeez Louise. Well, Dan, I want to ask you right away. Just a quick question, but like, how did you kind of get involved, I guess, with wrestling, and how did you, get involved with your whole company? Like, how did you start that? Where did your career with wrestling and your experience start?
Sure. So I fought professionally in mixed martial arts for many years. During that process, I started the company Combat Corner. We specialized in a lot of Thai boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and some wrestling products. But I'd say over the last 5-6 years, we've really heavily gone more into wrestling items.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is my daughter's pretty heavily into wrestling, and because of that, I've gotten more involved myself. I've seen opportunity for the company, but also I've seen needs within the space. So.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. I don't want to take away from anything Mateah might have to talk to you, so I'd love to let her get in here and talk about this. She's more of an expert than I am, but women's wrestling. Mateah, take it away.
Well, that wasn't really what my question was about, but I think Jacob had the women's wrestling question, right, Jacob?
Oh, yeah. You can go first, though.
Yeah. Well, okay, my question was, having the background in martial arts, do you feel like that helped you be able to run and start a business? Like the skills that you learned from fighting?
For sure. There's a lot of obstacles. Almost anything you do in business when you're first starting out, you got to, same with these guys running WIwrestle, right? You got to learn. But you got to be willing to hit a roadblock and find another path. So I think it's super important. But that's the same thing with wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling in general, you have to be tough. There's no one in the space that hasn't had their face, smashed in the mat and recovered and came back.
So are you going to be up here this weekend then with your daughter and you guys watching?
Yeah, I'll be here all weekend. So today we'll be here with some of my guys, and then tomorrow I'm going to pick her up after school, and then she'll be here Friday and Saturday.
Is this her first state tournament for her?
This will be her first one going to the WIA state tournament. Yeah.
Super exciting. Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously heavily involved in the women's side of things on the youth side. What have you seen? Obviously, we see the numbers growing in high school. Kind of what's the landscape looking like for the girls in the youth side of things?
I mean, it's growing monstrous. So even a lot of the girls, I would say more than half the number one seeds travel with us on the national circuit of duels and stuff like that. As far as I was just talking to a couple people out of New York and Pennsylvania, is their girls and all the rest of the girls is they're not looking up, they're looking behind them, because this next generation of girls, and the generations are very short, are getting better and better and better. And you can see it by looking at the college opens. You have a lot of the high schoolers coming in and winning the college opens and stuff like that, or placing very well.
Yeah.
Where do you think, just from the standpoint of women's wrestling, you're here in Wisconsin, where do you think Wisconsin ranks in terms of the growth and the talent of women's wrestling? Because you have traveled all around.
For girls, I do believe that we are a top 5 state. We had a team that we took to Ultimate Club Duels, which is freestyle, but it was in the beginning of the year, and we pretty much had a state-based team, so it was mostly Wisconsin girls, and this is all-star teams, and SEM was there and all that stuff, and we went head-to-head with SEM. We lost to SEM by 1 point. So, in general, we took third at that tournament, and I think there was only 28 teams there, but there were 28 like curated high-level teams.
Right, very tough. Yeah.
Like we have a lot of the nationally ranked girls. We have obviously Brooke is #1. I think Riley's like #2, and Carly and Riley is the match that I'm interested in.
I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite match, whether it's the girls or the guys this weekend that you're excited to see?
Truthfully, all the girls, because I know not all the girls, but I know most of the girls. And, you know, a lot of the girls that are in those top couple seeds all have traveled with us and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool to see them, you know, compete this weekend. And then a couple of them are going to have to compete against each other, most likely.
As a parent, you know, I know your daughter isn't here at the Kohl Center yet because she's not in high school. But as a parent, when it's like, when you're coaching your own kid or you're in the corner, like, are you the cool, calm guy, or are you stressing out, or?
I can do both. I can do both.
You ever thought about what you might feel like one day if you know, your daughter's wrestling for a state title or something like that? If get a little tense, get a little.
Well, I don't think I'll be coaching at that point. She'll be, you know, with whatever high school she's at that time, and I'll sit in the crowd and watch.
For sure. Pat, go ahead, and I know you had a question.
Yeah, so a question that I had is, with the introduction of women's wrestling into the NCAA, as a parent of a girl who's not in high school yet, what's kind of something, are you like kind of communicating that with her? Is that like now a goal for her?
Because maybe back in the day it wasn't.
I'm going to put this out there a little bit. There's one state that was very forward-thinking, which is New York, that did freestyle wrestling for girls' high schools. So, like, right now,
the folk style versus freestyle.
Their state tournament is today, and they're doing freestyle. They did freestyle all season, and it worked. The thing is, these other states, including us, should recognize that and make that adjustment. Because even at this point in 7th grade, we're focusing heavily on freestyle. We're actually the challenge bricks right here for the women's national tournament. They just bought them all for their tournament. So
no kidding.
Obviously, it's the final one before the NCAA takes over. But I mean, women's wrestling exploding. The opportunities are there. So like all the girls that have that opportunity or want to eventually take things to the next level or wrestle in college, it's like focusing on freestyle. So it'd be great if high school wrestling followed the same. There's already one state doing it, and they've been successful in doing it. It is possible. It's not something that people have to be scared of.
Do they do they do one-man mechanics in New York, or is it, you know, do they have a chair and a judge?
I haven't been to one of their events that they're doing it, but I guarantee at their high-level tournaments they have 3.
Otherwise, maybe just one.
Yeah, I would say probably when they're doing like their smaller stuff, it's probably just mat official or whatever. But
sure. Yeah. Well, I feel like the conversation between freestyle and folk style right now with women's wrestling is, I mean, Mateah, what do you think? Do you have an opinion on if it should be freestyle or folk style in high school? Do you like the folk style?
Well, I love freestyle. I wish it was freestyle, but logistically I think it would be difficult, especially because we're kind of short on refs already. So, I mean, you would have to kind of figure out, maybe you would do the one ref system. But
which we've seen
before.
before.
You couldn't do 3 at like most stuff, maybe at the state tournament. But like I said, if you do it, you have to figure it out. You know,
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I guess the one other thing is then getting enough coaches that know freestyle that can coach the high school kids, the high school girls. But I agree, especially because the Olympics are freestyle. College wrestling for women is freestyle. Like, I remember my freshman year of college, we had to do a couple weeks where we just learned the basics of freestyle. And that should not be like the case for a college team. So I agree with you. If we could maybe like start the transition even earlier in youth into high school. But yeah, it's just like the coaches and the officials thing that I was worried about.
And I mean, between the two of you too, like Mateah, you coach some of the girls, and Dan, you're traveling with parents and people. Is that kind of the general consensus between like a lot of the girls wrestling or their parents or people? Because I'm really not plugged into knowing if there's a preference between folk style or freestyle.
For the elite level girls that we travel with, and I'll coach the POWA teams, which are our national team as well. I coach the New York Razor girls. Across the board, I think almost every parenting girl, they want freestyle.
Okay.
I know that there is people that want folk style, but I do believe the majority of the top level people want freestyle.
I understand, because they do wrestle freestyle tournaments during the high school season too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the ones who go wrestle college opens, those are freestyle.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say when we were talking about like the 100 wins thing. Is that like a lot of the higher level girls don't have that many matches in season folk style, like Taylor Whiting, Angie Bianchi, Riley Hanrahan, because they're going to college freestyle tournaments. So yeah, I agree
Those
with that.
don't count on the record, right?
No,
No.
The college.
But is that more so for like those girls you mentioned? I believe they're all nationally ranked. Is that more so for the competition level, or is that
Yes.
because they want freestyle as well?
I think it's both.
Yeah,
It's both.
probably mainly competition, but I know like Dan was saying, a lot of the higher level wrestlers or female do love freestyle, and I think once you learn freestyle, then you just fall in love with it compared to folk style.
The freestyle.
Is that how you feel?
The age-old?
I love
yes.
folk style. Don't get me started on folk
What?
style. I mean, for girls
we're
though,
gonna
I
get the
get it.
age-old debate. Like,
Freestyle is king.
raise your hand if you like freestyle more. Raise your hand if you like folk style more. Raise your hand if you're undecided.
Freestyle's so much
For girls, though, I think
it's
it's
awesome too. It's not
for
easy.
girls. It's
Yeah.
logistically smart because if they're going to be wrestling college freestyle, then I agree. You should be doing that all the way through.
I think I think that is a great point. I think you can do one-man mechanics. I'm sure there's plenty of places that do it. We've done it ourselves with some of the events that we've done with just freestyle, whether it's boys or girls, one-man mechanics.
You can ref a match in folk style with one person. You can do it in freestyle. It's not perfect.
It's still
but
making a call. Yeah, you're still
you can
making
do
the
it.
call
Yeah.
like you would in folk
Especially
style.
if you have video review, you're set.
Right, exactly. The other.
I don't know about putting video review in there. That would
I don't even
make
think you need
everything
it.
take like 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know that you.
For some of those exposures, you definitely need a second angle, though.
Maybe like certain tournaments.
But that's
Like
where
the bigger
sometimes
ones.
you just like. I don't.
Freestyle would be a dumpster fire without video review.
I don't think you can do video review at every tournament. I do.
Not every tournament, but like the high.
The big ones,
Like
yeah. The big ones you need
conference,
them.
yeah.
Sectionals or state.
Definitely
but
not
we
for every tournament, but just the highest.
to be
end
clear,
of-
okay, understood. But the freestyle versus folk style debate. I used to love freestyle more. I don't know that I love freestyle or folk style more. I really, really like them both because I just like wrestling. Not to cop out here. I
Aw.
really do like wrestling. But when you figure out how to like, Jake, you were never like your thing, your MO was just taking guys down at will. And you didn't ride people that often. That's no secret. But you took people down like crazy, just like in freestyle. In folk style, when you figure out how to ride someone, Pat, you were tough with legs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, my favorite
like-
part of folk style wrestling was mat wrestling.
It's like the people that like folk style wrestling are probably also the people that are really dang good on the mat. Is what I have to think. But Teague, you've been pretty quiet here, which is not normal.
I know, not off-brand for me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but let's get in here, Teague. I think you had a question too that you wanted to ask Dan. So.
Ben was on the same page as you in that he loves both freestyle and folk style. So he was just 50-50 on that. Sorry, Ben Askren in the chat. Well, yeah, he wanted me to specify that last time.
There's a lot of Bens.
I know we lot of good hard-hitting questions for you, Dan. And I just want to ask for you. We've kind of just been going round table with all of our guests and us, but favorite state tournament memory.
Because I haven't been here as many times as a lot of the people
this moment.
here. It's this moment, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. Is it gonna? Do you think it'll become more of a mainstay for you? Just like maybe this weekend.
At this
wows
point,
you?
most likely we'll be here every year. It's just one of those things where if I didn't have someone that was directly involved, I wasn't here.
Yeah, and I guess you still technically you still don't, right? Like you know
now
people,
things are a little different.
But
now
also,
I
right
directly connected to a lot of the people wrestling here now, so it's just a little different. And to go back to the folk style thing, this is a folk style event, great event. So nothing wrong with folk style.
So with the state tournament, and you haven't been to many. Have you seen a state finals by chance yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask because you've done lots of big events. You've done your own events like us, and you've been a part of other big time productions and shows. What do you think of how they run the finals and like as an event in the Kohl Center? When you start to get in that world, you start to get like a finer eye for things. But in your opinion, what do you think of the state finals on Saturday night in the state tournament?
I think it's awesome. I mean, from what I understand, is Wisconsin's one of the best. The way they put it together and the amount of people that are here, and the way they run the mats. I mean, last year was pretty cool too. With obviously, I think it was last year the first time the girls were included on the main mats.
2 years ago.
2 years
so
ago.
it's been Kohl Center 2 years.
Okay.
Now. Yep.
But working them in, having them in the middle, having D1, D2, D3 running, it's just all excitement. You don't know what to watch sometimes, and you're just bouncing back and forth between matches, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and I did think about that in the state finals last year because there's 4 mats now, which is awesome and it is very exciting. But it is you have a match on D3 on one end, and you have a match on D1, and you need to, not want to, but you need to watch them both. And it is I don't know about you, but I can't do this. So
it's impossible to watch all 4 at the same time. So you're bouncing back and forth.
No.
And
It's like tennis, but better.
back and forth. Yes, you're trying to keep up, but. I wasn't even thinking about this until this moment right now, but if you are so glued and focused on one of those mats, you can watch the other match live online or on replay if you use the NFHS. Do we have that, Jake? This is totally random, but if you use this link that we have on our social medias, Jake, what's our promo code? WIwrestle?
WIwrestle 25 for 25% off your first month. Yeah.
And you can watch every match this weekend live. You can watch the state finals live. I do believe they will. I'm not positive, but I think they will have the commentary of Teague and whoever
for the finals on TV with me and Joe Miller. Yeah,
I think they might have commentary for finals. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're working it into the stream or not.
We'll be doing the TV broadcast.
Okay.
And our commentary will be pumped in through that. Dan, I got a better question for you, because big determiner this year. The first official girls team state title will be determined this weekend. Don't know how in tune you are on the results or whatnot or the team dynamics, but who's your prediction to come out on top of this? It's whoever scores the most points in the individual tournament. What's your team state champ prediction on the girls' side?
Milton.
Yeah, and that's a fair play.
I mean, you got numbers and then you got quality of girls and things like that. So I think that's I don't want to say easy guess, but that was my first.
So I went through all the teams, and I believe, Teague, you probably know this for sure, but I went through track and I looked at all the teams that were listed on there. And I believe all the girls are listed, like the girls' teams are also listed in with the guys' teams.
Yes.
And I think the most state qualifiers total came from, I wrote about this, it was 10 from WIwrestle Fremont. What's that?
Was it Nathan Hale? 10
So Nathan Hale had 1 girl and 9 boys. And then WIwrestle Fremont had 10 boys. So I don't know what the most girls was that qualified offhand, because I only looked at those top 2. I didn't know if you by chance.
I don't have the qualifiers offhand, but I mean Milton with their I think it's 3, but they're all 3 or 4. Yeah,
right.
They're all in like podium contention, I would say.
So the team scoring in general, the allocation of points, what is the structure?
So first through 6th, it goes 16, 12, 9, 7, 5, 3 for placement. And then you get 2 points advancement on the front side, 1 point advancement on the consi side. And then, of course, the activity points.
The bonus points. Yeah.
1 for major, 1.5 for tech, 2 for pin.
Any of the teams with the slightly larger volume do have an opportunity to hang in there for sure then.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
sure.
No, and sometimes that's what it is, though. Is you talk about a team titles, it's a numbers game because it takes a team. Sometimes it's not enough to have, say, 3 champs. So,
right.
No, that's pretty exciting. Pat, you got something on your tongue there, or you're just sitting up?
I'm just sitting up.
Okay, good. I was like, all right, I didn't want to steal your thunder if someone's on your tongue, but no, Dan, I think you being here is great for not only just you to just enjoy the state tournament, but I think for Wisconsin and for wrestling, you being here and obviously you and Combat Corners being one of the same. It could only be good for Wisconsin wrestling and good for the sport. So we've talked about it all year, but if you got a chance, guys, check out Combat Corner's website. Dan's rocking some of the gear right now. They make hats, they make gear, they make bricks. By the way, we lost our blue one. If we could get a blue one before freestyle season starts, that would be great.
I'll take care of you.
Someone took it.
Yeah. That's what Jake's saying. He said someone took it.
I don't know if someone took it, but it was lost at some event.
It was misplaced. We'll say that. It's either long-term misplaced or it is officially lost. I'm not sure which. But anyways, though, is you do make really great gear. This is probably my favorite one you've made. But you guys make everything, right? It's not just clothes. You guys have backpacks and all sorts of things.
I mean, for combat sports, we make everything. We go all the way from like boxing gloves and jiu-jitsu gis and things like that, all the way to gym outfitting. We do mats, we do turf, we do pole pads. We just did the AWA in Heartland. We did BAM location down in Burlington. We did ringers. We did Pedal Moraine's new competition mats. So we do all of that stuff all the way to the gym level. And then, of course, for wrestling, we did about 250 clubs, teams, where we do singlets, warm-ups, things like that. A lot of elite clubs in Wisconsin, but then a lot of out-of-state clubs.
Sure.
I request a sponsor collab where we get combat corner sleeves that perfectly fit funky fresh spring rolls. We can eat them on the go.
Still keep it warm.
Yeah.
Just the whole time. All right.
I love the funky fresh spring rolls. Truman, back in the day, like before the packaged product, I remember he catered one of our parties at Combat Corner, and everyone loved them.
They are pretty tasty. He's a great guy. You're a great guy. I want to say thank you again for stopping by and joining us, and also just being a part of the Wisconsin wrestling community as you are, and as you seem to just every year seem to be more and more involved. So
for sure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Let's go, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
No, you're all set, man. You're all set. Kind of moving forward, guys.
I gotta do a little scrolling here, I think.
Teague, I think it is time that you might need to do a little scrolling. Let's do these ones first. Let's do these bad boys first.
That was the ref one, right?
This is the ref one. Ticket giveaway time, ladies and gentlemen. We got a giveaway. We got a winner coming here. Teague Fenwick is doing a random scroll. As you can see, he's covering up his eyes right now. Pat, make sure he's not peeking through the bottom.
All right. I'm stopped.
And the winner.
I would say
wait. The winner is going to win tickets for these seats that are mat side first row. They will be all sessions, and it's 2 tickets. So it's not just 1 ticket. You'll have 2 tickets. Bring a friend, bring a buddy, bring a parent. I don't know, but every session you will be mat side. Thank you to the WIA for making this possible and giving us these tickets. The winner, Teague.
And our winner, his son is wrestling for Beloit Memorial, Owen, Mr. Scott West. Can't say anything about one official, but thanks to all officials for all the time and effort you put in. Can't do any of this without you. So, Scott.
Congratulations,
Congrats
Scott
on the
West.
free tickets.
Congratulations. DM us on Facebook. If you have one of our numbers, send us a text. Otherwise, we will be taking a look at our Facebook DMs to make sure that you get these for this weekend. You are now the winner of 2. Not 1, but 2 WIA state tickets, all sessions, all weekend long.
Matt side D1. That's pretty cool.
Is this D1 side right here?
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm kind of lost.
Walking in from the
D1
front.
right
Yeah.
Okay, Matt side D1 tickets. You will be front row for the finals. So
it's pretty sick.
Yeah, if you need someone to sit next to you.
We got our crack statistician did let us know it. New Berlin qualified 5 girls. So
New Berlin could be in contention.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes it just comes down to numbers, does it not?
And they have a few girls that could definitely get on the podium. So
you got to win, right? You got to win some matches, but at the same time, you also
it doesn't hurt to have more people here.
It doesn't hurt to have more people. It never hurts to have more people. Brooke Huffman, as we saw last year, 1 million pins, right? And pins her way through the state tournament. But sometimes, you need that, but then you need more, right? Teammates and stuff to do the same, to get on the podium to try and win a state title. Can't be a one-man show always in wrestling, which is kind of the beauty of it, right? Individual sport, but also team sport.
Yeah.
No?
You know the Cale Sanderson quote that he has about that?
No, I don't. Do tell.
Let me paraphrase. But he said, wrestling is the ultimate, what did he say? Wrestling builds individual character like no other, but it's the greatest team sport. I don't know. It was something like that. It was like how it's a great individual sport, but it also builds like team camaraderie like no other sport can.
It's an individual sport as well as a team sport. It's strengthen all your physical and mental abilities against an opponent. So you got it. You paraphrase it pretty well there, Pat.
I'm going to have to find it now so people don't think I'm dumb.
Yeah, it was...
Well, no, he didn't say the full. He paraphrased.
I did
perfect.
say paraphrase.
You did say paraphrase. You did say paraphrase.
We weren't grading him on if he.
I put the quotations.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Dr. Evil.
Fair enough. Let's. No, I want to hear. Mateah, do you have any matches in particular that you've kind of circled for this weekend that you're most excited for?
Yes, I have a lot of them. At least 4.
Matea's top 10. Pull up the graphic.
Matea's time to shine. Here
I'm
we
just
go.
gonna rant for 10 minutes.
Another one.
Okay, so the main one that I thought was like important was Lainey Vaughn and Kimura Hutter, and we had already talked about this, but this is most likely going to be a semifinals match, I believe. I think it was semifinals, yeah. Currently 3-3, and what I thought was interesting is most of the matches they have against each other have been like pins or tech falls, especially when Kimura wins. So when Kimura wins, it's always big. When Lainey wins, it's always by points most of the time. So that's going to be a good match. I'm excited to see.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
It's a little wild.
Right?
Match 7.
Like you pin someone and then they beat you. Like
right, and they do, but it happens more than once, right?
Yeah.
Like it continues to happen. That's I feel like that's more of an anomaly when it comes to like wrestling that much. But
I do not like wrestling someone after I've wrestled them so many matches. Like it's just a mind game after you go back and forth between them. Do you guys feel that way?
No.
Like really? I don't like.
So I actually have this hot topic, a little bit. It's relevant right here to this. Is I think like you see guys. They sit out of a team sectional because they don't want to have a matchup because the team doesn't need them that night, or they sit out of whatever it is, a tournament earlier in the season because they're like, oh, I'm going to see them at regionals and sectionals, and then I'm going to see them at state. On the high school level, I think it's actually really important that you continue to have those matches where you have that matchup again and again and again because it's a skill. I think sitting out and worrying about the seed or worrying about seeing someone that can game plan for you is bad, and especially in high school. Like this isn't college, and I think that that's a skill that you need to build to learn how to make those adjustments. And for you, maybe it's different because now you're on the senior level, right? So maybe you don't need that as much. But when you're young, you need to be able to learn how to. When someone adjusts to you after wrestling, how do you adjust to that? And that's a skill to learn. And I think it's a disservice and just not as good for development for kids to sit out of those matches. Like, you shouldn't sit out. You should wrestle them, even if you have to wrestle them 6 times in a year.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a off topic.
Yeah,
we'll bring it back.
Wrap it up. I have faith. I trust.
How many times at regionals or even sectionals did you see people medically forfeiting?
You do see that. There was a kid in my bracket my senior year that purposely forfeited so they could be on the opposite side for because somebody else at the other regional lost. And I was like, who cares?
I saw it a lot this year.
And it is a new thing with the criteria.
That's
something we didn't bring up is there a way to keep people from gaming that?
That's actually happening?
Yeah.
It's been happening, and it's probably more prevalent now.
Yeah.
What? That's weak.
Come on, Jake, what you got?
When you're in high school, you should wrestle all the. Yes.
I don't know. It's such a weird mentality.
And it's not it has nothing to do with like I might lose and it's gonna affect my seed. You're not. I understand it's a state tournament, and that is big time. I fully value that. I understand that, but at the same time, like I would venture to guess that most of these guys at the state tournaments. Goal is not just state, but it's college. And it's like these are skills that you are building to learn how to make adjustments, and like that's a skill.
Gaming the system as a high school kid to make it to state is crazy that people are doing.
So I talked to my dad about this because we kind of had a conversation about this, and he said we're from Indiana. Back in Indiana, if you medically forfeited at a weight class at like a qualifying tournament, you couldn't wrestle that weight class at all at a dual meet qualifier.
Oh.
Wow.
So, like, if I'm the 38-pounder and I medically forfeit at, say, regionals, we don't have a 38-pounder now at team sectionals.
That's really
that
could work.
Seems drastic, but it also seems like it solves the problem.
Sometimes the harsh punishment is because it
solves the problem.
It solves the problem. So I don't know. I'd have to take more time to think about it. But I don't know if I hate that one or not. But yeah, I see how you bring things back around a little bit. Teague, though, I want to get to you again. What are one of the matches that you have circled for this weekend?
I was going to ask Mateah what her second match was.
Oh, yeah, because we did talk about the first one a little bit.
Yes. Okay, well, so my second match, I had Lily Baker and Ava Gardiner. But now going back, do you remember, Nate, when you texted us that Frankie Groom is legit when she wrestled Carly Chesker?
Yes. Yes, I do, because I sat there and I was like, this girl is good. And she wrestles with I've never met you, Frankie Groom. I don't know who you are. I don't know who your parents are, but just know that you have a fan. You have a fan in me. You're a very good wrestler, and it was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah. So going back, I feel like I'm excited to watch her wrestle. She's a number 5 seed at 132, but
that's a bad 5 seed for some people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, that's a bad.
But she's gonna most likely wrestle Amelia Poplawski in the quarterfinals,
Yep.
which Amelia is an amazing wrestler. I feel like she's
They've split matches this year.
really. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that. And Amelia is so strong, and I feel like she's an underdog where she could potentially make the finals. I don't know, Teague. Has she wrestled Lily Banks this year?
I don't know if Groom and Banks have
That's one of those
wrestled.
brackets where they're all on the top half, and I think though is that 132?
Yeah, 130.
That's the one. That was what I'm
132
talking
is
about
the
before. Is there's like 4 girls that are ranked in the top 5 on that
And
side of the
there's-
bracket.
And Chesney Bartosik. I don't know.
Yes.
This bracket
Wrightstown?
is
Yeah.
I don't know. I love this bracket, but I feel like at least one of them should be on the bottom side of the
Yeah.
bracket. But I feel like Amelia could make the finals. That's a what's the word? Not a hot topic,
Dark
but
horse.
yes,
Dark horse. Out of the 4 seed,
Yeah.
but it's
So
a dark horse.
it would be cool to see her wrestle, Amelia and Frankie wrestle, but then Amelia and Lily wrestle because I don't know if they ever have. But yeah, so that's probably my tops.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop in because I'm gonna keep the train rolling on the girls. Nationally ranked, I believe top 5 nationally ranked matchup between Hanrahan and Chesker.
Yeah.
That's
Which is 2 years ago. There's nobody we would have thought that comes close to Chesker when it came to winning. Like we're like, you know what I mean? Like she won Midlands as a freshman, and we're like, okay, she's gonna win 4 state titles. Like chalk it up. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. And now
not really a wrap.
Not really a wrap. You got a Super 32 champ on the other side that'll likely be waiting for her in the finals. These girls are 2 of the best in the country. This is one of the match. Not only maybe your favorite match, Teague, but this is by far probably one of the matches of the weekend.
I think a lot of eyes are going to be glued in on that one for sure. And then my second one, I'm just going to double dip here, but I'm going to go a double Kewaskum finals at 138 and 150 for D2. You have Ethan Immel versus either Colbel Zeal or Dylan Weigel, whoever wins that one. And I think that could be a big clash of styles between whoever comes out of the bottom side.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 150, I mean, both the Kewaskum guys, not an easy road to winning the state title, but at 150, I think this is that same tier as Chesker, Hanrahan, maybe nationally ranked a little bit lower, but a lot of folks are going to be tuned in to that mat on D2. You have Owen Sefrud. His only losses, I still think his only losses in his career have come to Rhett Koenig. As far as I know at the state tournament, that's a fact. And he's taking on Bryson Scholes, who last year was Scholes' only loss to the eventual state champion.
He came in as the 1 seed.
Yeah, it was to Delaware.
Yep.
So their only losses in the postseason are to the eventual state champs. And Sefrud, I mean, he's looked like on a whole another level from everyone else the last couple of years. But Scholes has put himself into that next tier conversation.
And last year, I believe Scholes was the 1 seed as a freshman, which is something we don't see. And he did lose, like you just said, to Delabrew. But we talked about this. I think it was after Big Cheese in the fall. Is Scholes? He was good last year. We knew that. I think he placed 3rd ultimately. He came back and he wrestled, got on the podium. But he's one of those high school kids where it's like he was already good, and he is another level. He is taking it to a whole another level. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But no, he is elevated, and Owen Sefrud's already been one of those guys for a while now. He's a mainstay at the Kohl Center. He's looking for that 2nd state title this weekend, but that's got to be one of my favorite matches too. Possibly, that's probably a top 3 match for me, I think, this weekend. 2 undefeated guys likely that we're going to see in the finals. It doesn't get.
I hate to rain on your guys' parade, but I really hope it doesn't happen.
Why is that?
I mean, like you said earlier, I'm a coach. I got guys that I coach, so.
Yeah, Mr. Doorhorse, right? Hey, Lodi Wrestling right here.
Lodi Wrestling.
Yeah.
Is that the girl shirt?
No.
Oh, well, I was going to shout out Zach Licht. He's a coach there.
Well, it's my shirt, so I was taking no as a no. I'm not wearing a girl's shirt.
It's girls' cut.
Girls wrestling is what I
did that one
wow,
time.
yeah, that's hey, can we clip that right there? Nate's looking disgusted. Yeah.
Well, it did happen to me one time. I was wearing a shirt. It was
a little too tight.
It had a V. It had the V, and the sleeves were a little short, and I'm like, this is. Lo and behold, after wearing it for a full day, I did realize it was a girl's shirt. I gave it to my mom.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I wore it for a day. So
Pat, first before you go, we did get the quote here. Doug Zinke coming through for you.
Ooh.
Wrestlers compete as individuals, yet the sport builds camaraderie like no other.
I was pretty close.
There it is. Do like The Office where we quote Cale Sanderson and then quote Pat Spray.
Pat Spray.
I like that. We should.
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Hey, what is
Yes.
what is your favorite? You know, you probably have a few. What are one of your favorite matches that you are hoping to see this weekend?
Yeah, so one that I'm pretty excited to see, and I hope I get to see it, is Aberg versus Carter Freeman at 138.
Yes.
Hopefully that's a potential semis match. Returning state champ versus the #1 seed, who's a young kid who's really good.
Really good. When he's got that confidence too, he wrestles different.
Yes. When he has confidence that he can go in there and like kind of control the pace of the match, he goes out there and controls the pace of the match.
Yes.
You have seen in the past where if he's a little hesitant, maybe things kind of snowball for him.
And they get close. Yeah.
Exactly.
When he has got every skill, especially as a sophomore. He's got all the skills we can think of.
For sure.
But when he has the mental, right, the between the ears, that focus and that confidence in his own ability, he's another cat.
Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. Another one is basically all of Division I heavyweight. Like, that is just an insane field.
That may be the first time somebody's ever said that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Is that the bracket right there?
What am I excited for? All of Division I heavyweight.
Because they're doing the voting again for ending weight, and this should be the year that it ends on heavyweight.
I know. Like
I think it's going to. I think there's too many. Change is a tough thing, and I think there's going to be. I think it's going to be overwhelming. Start at 106.
So what's up with that too? Like we'll get back to the matches, but what are we doing here with the last year, guys? We had the open voting. You could vote on whatever starting weight you wanted, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it should have ended at heavyweight last year. I don't think I'm the only one with that opinion, but we get a chance, and what do? We do the exact same thing. Is there?
Well, I mean,
is this
it's kind of warranted this year. I feel like
should heavyweight. Why? Because you think because of that bracket?
I think it's one of the deepest brackets in the entire tournament.
Okay, so but finals matches, because at that point it's just the finals. Like, if you told me if Sefruit and Scholes make the finals, that might be, or Hanrahan and Chesker, that might be the weight I want to end on.
Fair.
Instead of heavyweight, because nobody's walking out the door to see one of those matches. And I'm not saying they are for heavyweight.
Yep.
Because that bracket is definitely deep, and there's 3-4 guys that can win it.
Yep.
But I'm saying the best finals match, I don't know if I'm going to put it with that bracket. Now, Gormanson and Nehemiah did have an epic showdown at Big Cheese.
Side, though.
I know.
Oh, you're talking about Mateah at Big Cheese.
Sorry, Mateah, yes. Mateah and Gormanson had an epic showdown at Big Cheese. I'm not banking on that to happen again.
You better bank on it.
I'm not, but
Polar Bear's getting it done this weekend, okay?
Hey, that's a great nickname.
That is a great nickname. I like
it. Great nickname.
He is
a polar bear. But there you go.
Coke.
We got 3 of those guys
right?
right there. 2 of them in the Big Cheese. It was crazy. He does need a Coke sponsor. You're right.
I'm going to talk to
Chug one. If he wins the state title, he should drink a Coke right after.
I'm going to tell him.
He's probably.
But no. So going back to the
Yes,
heavyweight
go ahead.
in the last match of the weekend, I feel like across all 3 divisions, it's pretty stacked. You know,
good.
And like it is good across all 3 divisions, and I feel like that's probably more of what I would want to see is all 3 divisions.
You can only
obviously the girls as well.
No, I understand, but you can only watch one match. Sort of, right? We're kind of just talking about this with Dan, but you can sort of only watch one match at a.
Yeah, but if I'm going to vote for a weight,
you can feel the energy of 2 guys that are undefeated, or a Liam Crook versus Caleb Denny, like whatever it is. Like there's certain matches I think that we could see in the finals, or I mean, it could be Eli Leonard. If he doubles
that was
down,
the other match I
if
put
he
down.
doubles down, that's one of the matches I have circled. Is this 175-pound bracket? If Leonard doubles down and beats Denny again,
which Denny is nationally ranked.
Denny's nationally ranked. They're both going to Madison. Crook's nationally ranked. If Leonard runs the table there, like that's just like, for me, it's not about every mat for the finals, unless there's like a weight class where like every single one of these matches is going to be insane. It's more of like, what is the best match that's going to take place in the finals, and whatever that weight is, that's the one we should be ending on.
It's fair.
That's my standpoint on that. But
I don't think people agree with you. That's why they don't vote that way.
I think people don't like change, like Teague said something.
I think this year's kind of a clash of both of those, right? The resistance to change, and then like pretty tough heavyweight. Let's just keep it as is.
Yeah, you might be right. But Jake, you want to pull that graphic back up, because that is one of the matches I have circled. Pat, you just said it's one of the matches you have circled. What do you guys think? Teague, what do you think of this 175-pound bracket with undefeated Liam Crook, and I believe Eli Leonard is undefeated as well. Caleb Denny has...
He's lost both of them.
He's lost
year.
to Crook and
Two
Leonard.
losses. Yeah. So, I mean, if Denny runs it back and is able to avenge those losses, or, what are we thinking here?
I did hear someone commented on our post on our show last night about how Denny was sick during bye state, but it's sometimes that's just how things work out. I don't think it takes away from Leonard's win at all. I think Leonard has the ability to beat him. So I'm really looking forward to that bi-state finals rematch, assuming it shakes out. I don't want to take out Guerrero from that picture.
Yeah,
but
very good. And he's another level, too. He's
ascending.
Leonard and Denny, that's going to be – I just don't know, guys. I mean, we talked about it before when we were doing the Husky seeding show. When Liam Crook's in his flow state, he is nigh impossible to beat. And had a tough match in the Husky finals, but then I saw a whole different Liam Crook – in the Cheesehead. He made winning the Cheesehead look easy.
He reminds me a lot of Aberg, kind of with that, like, if he's got that confidence going into a match, he can tell.
Yes.
Yep.
Because, and usually I think...
He opens up his attack.
That's what I was about to say, is when Crook has the confidence going into a match, because he is another one of those guys that has every tool you need to be very, very good, but when he has that confidence, you see it in his attack rate, on his feet. He starts shooting those sweep singles or his high crotch, like he just picks it up and he's just feeling it. He's flowing.
Yeah. I agree 100% with that.
So do you think, I mean, obviously it all depends on, what do we see from him this weekend? What do we see from Eli Leonard and Denny and Guerrero? But do you think Crook runs the gauntlet from the 1 seed and gets it done again?
I do.
Yeah.
I think Liam Crook's.
Yeah.
I would say I would bet a lot of money on that if I could.
Bet the house. Bet the house.
Like, I mean, no shade to Denny or Leonard.
Yeah.
Like, I hope they go out there and compete hard and maybe they get the win, but I'm not expecting that.
You can only pick one, so it's how it goes. It's how it goes. You can only pick one. Maybe you give somebody some bulletin board material. Maybe you don't.
That'd be kind of cool if they pinned it and then bulletin boarded it.
Oh, that happened.
Today.
That happened
today, though.
Not today, but that would be cool. I've had a couple kids. I picked against them, and they've brought it up to me afterwards. I love it.
That's kind of cool, though. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. You know what? I said it, and I stood by it when I said it. And if I was wrong, make me eat my words.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. I deserve it. Like, you got to be able. If you can dish it out, you got to be able to get it back.
You tip your cap to it.
Absolutely, I do. I'm not upset about that one. But do we have any more matches, guys, that we want to see this weekend? I really want to see the 157-pound bracket.
Yep.
That one's got me really excited in Division 1.
I'll talk about a 106 match. I think Max Schrader versus Jack Falk's a really good one. That's early. I think that's first round. 7 versus 10.
Yes, I had that one circled.
They're both.
Lot of chatter about Jaden Torres, the 2 seed, potentially being on upset watch in that quadrant.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that?
Well, even the Hortonville kid, Leslie Long, he had a shortened season. Yeah. So that's a tough 15 seed right away. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
that's definitely one of them that, yeah, I would agree.
Both of those 2 kids were ranked, I think, like pretty much top 6 all year.
Yeah.
And they are the 7 and the 10 seed.
Yeah, no, I watched Jack Falk last weekend actually at Fond du Lac, and he's big.
He's a big
106. He's big, yeah.
Big. He is.
I think Jake, were you the one that was like, dude, he's got like biceps, like arms at 106, like yeah.
6-pounders can't have biceps, Jake.
Well,
I think I said that.
It might have been a different coach or somebody else, but he is big, dude. I think he's got a vein in the bicep too, like.
Oh, Jake, I should have sent you a photo for this, but I put the graphic up on my show last night, but Thierry versus Lice Gang. I put up Godzilla versus Kong on the show last night. The battle, yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Well, this
that could be a good one.
157-pound bracket, 3 undefeated. It's pretty crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Cook, Zanton, and then
Katie.
Kate, yeah. And Doomer's only losses are to Cook.
Yeah.
Yes. And if I was Doomer, would I want to be back on that same side as Declan? Or am I like, you know what, I've lost twice, put me on the other side. If I'm going to see him, I'd rather see him in the finals.
I'd rather get the 3rd match right away.
Right away?
Yeah. I feel like the more I wrestle someone, the more I'm going to be able to figure them out.
Okay.
Right? And I think there's other kids that probably feel that same way. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I think the more I can wrestle someone, the more I can kind of close that gap and pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously Doomer, but between Cook and Katie, very interesting style matchup.
Two different
What do you guys
styles.
think of that?
Well, I've said this multiple times, multiple occasions. Caleb Cady has the tools to be.
When he was taking down Millard, I was like, this guy's got
twice,
attack.
and I've seen him take down so many Fargo All-Americans, like multiple nationally ranked guys. Like when he is on, he's on, and he is incredibly hard to beat.
He's got the tools to be very tough.
Is the defensive Cook going to be too much?
That's very
Cook
interesting.
is so good at slowing it down, which is the complete opposite of Cady. It'll be interesting.
He's a lightning in a bottle, and when he feels mentally in the right headspace, he is so incredibly hard to beat. I've never really seen Declan gas out. I don't know if it's because Cady is just so fast twitch and he scores so much early, but he sometimes, not always, but sometimes can get pretty tired. So a guy like Declan, if they stretch it to the third period and Cady's getting tired, like I could see Declan turning him on top if he chooses top. And
kind of weather that storm a little bit.
Right, weathers the storm, and then he's like, I'm gonna make my money here in the third period if Cady's more tired and he's able to ride him, because there basically hasn't been anybody this year that Cook hasn't been able to ride, let alone probably the past couple of years. He basically rides everybody, if not is turning them all. So he's a threat there, and that could also be like the offense, defense on their feet, but the difference maker too being that mat game, especially. Are you sitting there off the whistle, or are you letting him settle in, or are you moving?
I mean,
so
I mean this goes into strategy of wrestling, but I think you have to kind of have your own process, regardless of who you're wrestling.
Yep. Got to be prepared. Got to know what you're going to do. That's for them. That's a state finals match, so they'll be able to game plan that and figure out how they want to wrestle it. That is one of those brackets, though, that is exciting. Nobody in that bracket has a state title, so somebody and
it's kind of cool.
It is. And Cook, obviously, we know is twice been a runner-up, but nobody in that bracket has a state title. So we're going to see someone new crowned.
I think one of my favorite matchups this weekend, Nate, that hopefully we get a chance to decide it this weekend.
I feel like I know what you're going to say, actually, but go ahead.
Do you?
It's not a – can I say, is it not an actual match that's taking place here?
Okay, well, yeah, I want to get it. I guess we'll get right into it. I want to know
hypothetical.
Who comes out on top between the Buffalo-style chicken funky fresh spring rolls and the chicken club funky fresh spring rolls.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Is it weird to say that I would pick chicken broccoli mushroom?
It is I got it pulled up right here.
Good one.
It's mouth-watering.
Hey, well,
I'm getting hungry.
This is Truman is going to be at Woodman's in Madison East.
When?
8 to 10 today.
Oh, right now? Right now.
10 to 2.
He's actually wrapping up.
He's done.
He's gone.
Glad I could go and get some.
You hop in your nearest time machine. You get 10 to 2.
10 to
2. He will be giving some spring rolls out at Woodman's, so go check that out.
Let's go.
Good. All right. Shout out Truman. I'm actually pretty hungry, so I might have to make a stop by. They do fill you up. They do taste good. So if you get a chance, get a box, get 2 boxes, maybe just get 4. Get 1 of each. But no, shout out to Funky Fresh Spring Rolls. Mateah, I wanted to ask you this though, because I forgot as we were kind of talking about Chesker Hanrahan. Do you have a way you're swaying? Do you think who's gonna win maybe, or a game plan for either of the girls? Like what are we thinking?
I was thinking Carly Chesker. I feel like she stays in really good position.
Yeah.
She's hard to get out of position. I think that's why she's won a lot of the bigger matches. She knows how to slow it down. So I think Carly's going to take the win. Teague, what do you have for that match?
I picked Riley.
Let's go.
And I don't have any technical aspect to it. I think it's 50-50.
Gut feeling
going into it, and yeah, you can flip a coin. I just know, again, for the third time I think I've said this show, the fans win that one.
They do.
Ultimately.
No, I agree. I think Mateah, have you wrestled either of them at all in the chance? Like, I know you work with high school girls. Sometimes you work out with them and stuff.
I've only wrestled with Riley Hanrahan one time. We were warming up together actually at U23s, but I felt like she was a very fluid type of attack type of wrestler.
Sure. Yep.
I've seen her wrestle a couple of the girls that I coach. She has a really good single leg, I believe. So I feel like she's really attack. Carly's more stay in good position.
And then she has a sweep, right? She's got kind of a sweep single that she's pretty good at.
Yes, but I feel like Carly is so tall, and she, like I said, keeps her hands so low.
Yep.
I feel like she will be able to just maybe frustrate Riley a little bit by not letting Riley open her up.
Do you think? Do you think this match would regardless of who wins, do you think it would change if it was freestyle, or do you think it might hold the same result?
I think it would probably be the same.
Well, was Super 32, was that free or folk style?
Freestyle.
It was freestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know I actually had that in my head. I was thinking the same thing, Teague. I was like, well, she might be really, really good at folk style, but no. Go ahead.
Well, I also want to say that Riley's a really good wrestler and nothing against her. I can only choose one person, though.
I think that's fair to say.
That's a
Understandable.
straight shot at Riley, I think.
Yeah, she's coming. And hey, isn't she a fighter? Doesn't she fight people?
Yeah, she does.
You better watch what you say, Mateah. You're gonna
Yeah.
get popped right in the mouth. Wham!
I actually did a little bit of MMA too, so I have some defense.
I thought you were going to say you're going to hit it right back in the mouth. I was like, whoa.
Have you ever been asked, like, people are like, do you ever want to get into MMA? That's a question I've been asked a million times.
Oh, yeah, I got asked that.
I've given the same answer every single time, basically, is they're like, oh, you'd be so great. Like, you wrestled. Like, you should do MMA. And I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? And I say, I don't want to get punched in the face.
That's
like,
my answer.
I can hit somebody in the face. No problem. Don't have an issue with that. Hit me in the face. Not my thing.
I mean, I could take it, but I don't want to.
It's not my thing. If I don't have to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And then you see some of these, like, pictures and videos of people, like, at the UFC after their fights and their bones sticking out or their permanently just rearranged face is, like, not going back to normal. It's like, I'm too pretty for that. I can't be having that happen.
That thought doesn't go through.
I don't know.
You liar.
You don't know what goes through my head.
I'm just kidding.
No. So you are calling me. Thank you. So, guys, I also have this here, and I just wanted to, I don't know.
It's a grip tester.
It's the grip tester. It's a grip tester. I want to see. I bought this, and I want to see where everyone ranks on this machine. So let's take a second. Warm up your hand if you have to.
Are we hitting the smelling salts beforehand?
Are you going to do a before and after to see if
there's an effect?
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So
hey, wait, while we're doing this, could I?
Let's do a giveaway.
Could I do my scrolling?
Can we do the first? Let's do the first one. Teague, do you want to?
way.
No, you know what, Mateah, do you want to give away the 3-point takedown first or the Caden Henschels first?
Let's do the Caden Henschels first.
Ooh, okay. We're gonna give away the Caden Henschels based off Teague scrolling. Pat, cover them up.
All right.
Cover those eyes.
How about you do the grip test at the same time?
All right.
And
well,
then
that's
once you get your number, then I'll stop messing around.
Right hand. Oh, that was bad. It's not even ready for me.
86.
No. Let's see.
It was 72.
My hands are a little sweaty. I'm getting nervous.
Just grip it.
Like Jacob. Grip it and rip it. 131.4.
Nice.
Pretty good.
My right hand.
Teague, you're up.
Right hand.
First winner, not the Wisconsin Wrestler podcast.
No way. For the Caden
First
Henschel.
winner. Gosh, man, I'm horrible at this.
Are you cheating?
Close your eyes.
This is for the Henschels?
He hit Scott Cleaver that time.
Yes.
This was a nice thing about the officials, I guess, because this is about the wrestlers.
This one is picking the wrestler you're most. So
Pat, am I in like wrestler talk territory right now?
So
yes. Now
so
you
we're
are.
looking
Now you
for
are.
someone in the comments that said a wrestler that they're most excited to see win. I'm guessing it's probably someone ineligible in that case because it was probably one of us. Based off.
I commented too much.
So he landed on himself. Well done, Teague.
Wait.
Oh.
So,
wow. I mean, I guess loyalty pays off here. Doug
right.
Beebe looking forward to the grappling later today at the Kohl Center. Not a specific wrestler. Do we count it?
If Doug Beebe wants to shoes, maybe he'll strap him up himself. Maybe he's got someone he can give him to.
So Doug's
I
our
have faith.
first winner unless he can pay it forward to someone.
He can pay it forward. He can.
I'm
keep
not
them.
looking at the screen, by the way. This is
So we'll do the second one in a minute.
okay.
Doug Beebe, message us on Facebook. We'll figure out the best way to get him to you. You just won the Caden Henschels. I'm cool with that. He's a loyal listener. He's a good dude. So glad he's just messaged us on Facebook. We'll get you the shoes. We'll get the size. Everything squared away. I got 131.4. Who wants to go?
Cheese up.
Okay.
Do I get like 2 attempts like you did?
I got 1 attempt. Just
Liar.
work your way back.
All right, I'm gonna put my headset up because you made some weird noises, and I had my eyes. Yeah.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Cracked my knuckles.
What'd you hit?
Whoa!
What'd you hit?
133.8.
Oh no! I gotta go again.
No.
What'd you get?
131.4.
All right. What do I do here? Do I reset it?
Just hit start, and it should reset.
Yeah, and then you go.
Now give her a squeeze.
Give her the old college.
I have faith. Pat's gonna have a strong grip. He's I've wrestled him before. He's got a good grip. He's got big hands. The old washed up. It's something that never goes away is usually the grip.
Oh, I lost.
126.2.
Okay, I talked him up for no reason.
You have 134, 133, and then 126.
I had 131.
I have a pretty good grip too. That's embarrassing.
Sometimes it takes more than once.
Uh-oh.
You got to restart.
I need
Yes.
this. Is what.
All
My
right,
hands
this
are
is what
so
we need.
cold. This is no fair.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
You guys got a nice little breeze there.
Yeah.
All right, go
it's
ahead.
getting
Give her a
chilly, I'm not
squeeze.
gonna lie.
It was very hot in here to start the day.
Yeah, she's a lefty.
Well, I'll do my left hand next.
Well, no, she's
just
a
do
lefty.
your dominant hand. Why would you do that?
77.4.
All right.
Let me see this thing.
Come on, JR. Let's see what we got here. Guys, we're going to have this around all weekend, so if you want to figure that out.
Is that the technique you put it by
Jake
your feet?
drives, by the way.
160.
I was oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
I would hope Jake has the strongest grip.
Jake,
Yeah.
I've seen him in his car. Jake drives around with the those grippers, and he just drives.
166. There we go.
Well, you did it twice, cheater.
He just drives around squeezing these
still got
grippers all the time.
You're a fraud.
So you kind of train for this, though.
I beat you on your first time.
No, doesn't count. That's disqualified. I took third.
137.6.
Can I do one more?
Yeah.
I'm hitting the salt.
200.
Are you still scrolling?
When do we want to do the second giveaway?
After Pat goes.
Okay.
We're going to do a second giveaway after Pat goes. So,
It was
3-point
worth it.
takedown shoes.
Should I go left hand?
Where's my angle?
Oh, my God.
Jake, where's my
Yeah, try it.
3-point takedown shoes right here. We'll get you a pair.
Well, it's the new ones where
We're gonna get the new ones, but these are
no, it's this colorway.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
Oh,
these
the
are
brand.
3-point takedown
Okay.
shoes. Yes, sir. Yes, we will get you a pair of those here when we pick a winner after Pat goes. Pat, did you take a whiff? No.
I don't think holding it longer helps.
He was doing his left hand.
That sucks.
What'd you get?
114.
went down.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna go with my.
That was
all
a
right.
left hand.
Wait, are
Let's
you
do a
going to do
giveaway.
the salts first?
All right.
Giveaway.
Yeah, Teague, you got to do the salts.
No. Oh, wow. We got a tweener here. Well,
114.6. Left hand.
what would you say, Pat?
I definitely think you're on the bottom one.
Bottom one?
That's where.
All right.
All right.
Pause. So, ladies and gentlemen, winner of our third giveaway today is going to get themselves a pair of 3-point takedown shoes from Brock Berglund, Wisconsin wrestler from Denmark, 3-time state champ. We will be giving away a pair of these as Teague announces the winner. Tell us, they had to say what wrestler they're most excited to see this weekend, and then whoever wins, make sure you message us on Facebook, and we will make sure we get a pair of shoes to you.
All right.
Who's our winner?
The winner of the 3-point takedown shoes. So Doug won the pair of Clash of Combat shoes.
Yes.
And the winner, guessing from way northwest, because he's supporting a CWPF wrestler, Josh Carlson.
Josh Carlson
is looking forward to watching a Shatek Weyerhaeuser Prairie Farms Trig White.
Trig White, yes, good. He's a good wrestler.
He was at King of the North, right?
Yes, he was at King of the North, and I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, Jordy Crass said that Trig White's dad was a national champ from Stevens Point.
3-time finalist.
Three-time
Jan
finalist
White,
college.
I think is the name.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, Jan White, national champ from Stevens Point College. So super cool there. A little bit of a wrestling family, obviously. But okay, one more time. Who is our winner for the 3-point takedowns?
It would be that was the second one. Josh Carlson.
Josh Carlson. Okay, Josh Carlson, you are our third and final winner for the giveaways. But there's always more.
Let's do it.
There's always more. You know what? This is unplanned, unscripted.
Oh, wow.
I got two more things. One, if you want a WIwrestle, are we able to?
Yep, they see it.
WIwrestle Combat Corner beanie. I can't tell. You see this? Glasses. Combat Corner WIwrestle beanie. This black beanie, it is brand new. If you want this, how should we give this one away?
I don't know, man. This was
just pick a random comment.
Pick a random
favorite
comment.
match.
Nope.
From the state tournament.
Pick a random comment. No. Put in the comments. Favorite match from last year's state tournament, real quick.
We don't have a lot of show left, Nate.
That's fine. I don't care. Put it in there.
We don't have
Also, I thought about this too. If you want a sticker this weekend, you have to find me. I'm going to be carrying around a bunch of the WIwrestle stickers. If you ask me for a sticker, I have a limited amount left. If you find me this weekend and ask for a sticker, I'll have them in my pocket or in my backpack. I will get you a sticker right away. But you got to find me this weekend if you want a sticker.
You get him going, he doesn't stop.
I can't help myself.
That's okay.
All right, so what do we? Josh is going to be here on Saturday. So Josh, message WIwrestle, and
we'll ship them the shoes.
We'll ship you the shoes.
So
yeah,
we'll get everything organized that way. Hit it.
No, it's for you.
I've done it twice.
It's before see if you get a increase.
My nose is still recovered.
You're all salted out. Yeah,
soft is what I heard.
So go.
I'll do it.
Put your nose in it.
Give me that too.
Okay, I'm
gonna see if it goes.
I'm getting set up. Go ahead, get your.
Kristen Ash, MJ Newman's championship match.
Is that our winner?
I like that call. Oh no, I was just reading some comments. Just passing time right now. I think you got in there and just fine.
All right, rip it.
Oh, Lindsay, excited to see Haley win her fourth state
No, I think
title.
that was the worst. I think you were at 33 last time, didn't you?
Dude, you're getting tired.
Squeezing too much.
That's tough. All right, do we have a comment in there? Otherwise, I'm just gonna give it away. The first comment or the second comment that somebody put in the chat of their favorite match from last year.
Favorite match from? Oh, I said favorite match
this year.
This year, or whatever.
That's fine. Favorite match from this year.
All right. There's not a lot, so I hope I'm not scrolled too far up. Am I, Pat?
This is for favorite match from last year.
Last year or this year, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, you're not there.
Okay.
They're gonna get.
Oh no, it's all at the bottom.
Sometimes you just gotta.
Lindsay watching. Well, I said it out loud and I manifested it. Lindsay was looking forward to watching Haley Krieger win her fourth state title.
All right, Lindsay, you are the winner of this WIwrestle Combat Corner beanie. I have it on me, so I will make sure it gets to you this weekend. Message us on Facebook, and we will make sure that happens. We will get that arranged. Congratulations to all of our winners this weekend. Guys, before I sign us off,
girl.
And girl.
Thank you.
Guys is a general term. It's
you don't have to explain yourself. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Anywho, for me and Pat and Mateah and Jake, do you have anything left that you guys wanted to mention before I sign us off? Teague already got his comments in. He's on timeout.
No, I mean, I'm excited. I'm glad that we're kind of here for state weekend, right? It's my favorite
weekend of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Favorite wrestling weekend.
It's nice that the weather was kind of nice the last couple of days. Hopefully it picks up, but
it's supposed to be 50 tomorrow. I checked.
That would be beautiful.
Windy, but 50.
But no, I'm excited to watch all the kids I coach. I'm excited to watch all these exciting matches of kids that I don't coach, and I don't know. Fun weekend. So.
Awesome. Mateah, anything? Are you good?
No, that's how I feel. I'm excited.
All right, she echoes the sentiment. Jake, do you got anything in the back?
Best week of the year. I'm happy that we get to do this as a job. It's pretty kick ass.
Oh,
it is pretty
come
cool.
on.
That one's fine.
That's
Afterward,
fine.
not so much.
So
it's kick butt.
Jake,
hey,
how did
I stream my rules?
How did the stream go? Backside. How
I
did
think
it go?
It went great. A lot of good graphics. A lot of people listened. I think everything went well.
Stress levels down now, right?
Now we just get to enjoy some wrestling.
Now we enjoy
Last
some wrestling.
stream of the season is a wrap.
Teague, timeout's over. Anything left you wanted to say?
I've looked at brackets enough, talked about potential stuff enough. I'm just ready to get to the wrestling.
Yes, and let's wrestle. All right. Well, from the WIA booth, thank you to everyone listening to us. We are in Madison, Wisconsin. You can see all the mats are laid out. They're cleaning them right now as we speak. We are at the Kohl Center. We will see you guys here this weekend. If you see us, say hi, shake our hand, ramble to us, introduce yourself. We don't always know who everyone is. Got to put that out there.
Especially if you're a wrestling mom.
Especially if you're a wrestling mom. Teague is ready to meet you. Let's have a great weekend, though. Best time of the year.
All right, let's go.
All right. We're signing off. Pat was my
fault. Let's go.
I don't know.
End it. End it.
We'll see you guys later. Love you all.